very much in the game here. Down to, I'd say, Bradenton into Sarasota. This is the area that we're watching at for maybe seeing the biggest surge here. But it's still at this point in time, there's the variability there.
Fox Weather's Jane Menard. Milton is also spawning tornadoes with more than 60 tornado warnings in Florida today. It appears many people, though, heeded evacuation orders in the Tampa Bay region.
Perhaps the biggest difference between this storm and the one that hit 2 weeks ago is where it could hit. That last storm 2 weeks ago, Helene, hit near a town, population 6,600. Population of Tampa Bay, where this could hit 3.3 million. So the potential for damage, for catastrophic damage, much higher at this point. And when we go out and talk to people, ask them about their evacuations, even the people who are leaving the scene still say they have a lot to fear. They're afraid that they might leave, they might have no home to come back to.
Fox's Steve Harrigan in Tampa. President Biden already approved emergency declarations for Florida and the Seminole tribe.
I know it's really tough, leaving behind your home, your belongings, everything you own. But I urge everyone in Hurricane Milton's path to follow all safety instructions as we head to the next 24 hours. It's literally a matter of life and death.
During that briefing at the White House, also calling out some criticism of the federal response as misinformation, accusing former President Trump of spreading dangerous lies, as Trump accuses the current administration of mismanagement in hard-hit areas. President Biden and Israel's prime minister holding their first phone call in 7 weeks. The White House calling it productive as Israel continues to consider its response to last week's missile attack by Iran. America is listening to
Hear that? The sound of water being poured on 800-degree rocks. If you were here in this sauna, you'd be so hot you wouldn't have the energy to move. But you're not here. Because your self-care happens out on the road, riding your motorcycle protected by Progressive. Besides, after a long ride, a helmet sweat is way more satisfying. So if you ride, switch to Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer, without even breaking a sweat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated in the best hearing aids of 2024 by USA Today, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices. Just $189.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 500,000 happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Look out. Here we go. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis, sidekick, producer, and sports raconteur with the flying buzz bat on a hell, and also the mechanical mangler at the controls. It's Flounder, and it's hump day, baby. Look out. What the hell is that flying thing you got in front of you there? Is that a bat?
Not a bat.
A bat, yeah, the giant bat mobile thing there. Very cool. Boys and girls, it's 3:03. It's hump day. Ba-boom. And another beautiful day in the neighborhood. By the way, I think it may be going into the 40s.
I did last night.
Yeah, I know. I've been up in the mountains of Macon. But again, even just general principle, I think it was like 74 degrees driving in this morning. So, I mean, here we are. Here we go. In fact, that's a noise-making... Is that a moving wing thing, or what is that? It's like
it flies in circles when you put it on a string.
Oh my! Oh, it's a what do you call it? It's not a toy. It's a well, what is it? It's
something I can't turn off.
It's not a doll. It's a toy that has batteries in it to make a noise and whap its wings and turn on its headlights.
That's called an electronic toy.
Electronic toy. I guess. In fact, what do you call them? I don't. It's not an action figure.
It's a toy bat.
I was trying to say like an action figure bat. That's what it was. An action figure toy bat. Anyway, God, what a start. 3:04. It's only me with the Kipper, Pete Davis, and Flounder. What's anything new in the mountains of Macon there overnight, Pete Davis?
I forgot to tell you last week, I actually joined a carpenter's class.
A carpenter's class? What? Really? What?
Yeah.
What?
Ask me if I've made anything
Have
yet.
you made anything yet in the carpenter's class is the question.
We've only just begun.
Carpenter's class. Dear Lord. Oh, hey. If she'd only taken that sandwich away from Mama Cass, they'd both be alive today, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, hey. And down she goes. Abandon. So, everybody out. So anyway, 3:05 now. Let's just do this for 3 freaking hours. What do you say? Just go. We'll just say
free form.
That would be silly. Like, what's different about that? 3:05. Well, we just see what I mean? I just keep counting the minutes. Also, some funny things. In fact, we're going to do number 10 coming up here, Flounder. We got a couple of weird things. All right, first of all, we'll set the stage. Flounder, what's new with you? The last 24 hours, I assume everything...
Same old.
There you are. So... I always want to ask, just in case. One day's going to say, well, I won the lottery, but other than that, I go, whoa, there you go. Anyway, a lot of things. We obviously have the latest on the news of the hurricane and also a lot of politics stuff, including a professor at the University of Kansas. You're going to hear him actually tell his university students that men like me who will not vote for Carmela the shiftless and lazy should be shot. We should be killed. We should be shot. Literally said it. You're going to hear him say it. And they're saying, well, he missed, he missed. He didn't really, he just what? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so we got that. Also, demands for the transcript of the 60 Minutes thing. You're going to hear about that again, too. Tim Walsh said it. He said it out loud. If the Democrats win, they're going to get rid of the Electoral College. And that means popular vote. And that means the Democrats will never lose another election, because when they do that, the one thing that they all have in common in the Democrat Party, despite what they're saying about the wall and the border security, everything they do involves a, quote, pathway to citizenship. And when they allow all those illegal immigrant sneak-ins of felons by the millions to suddenly become citizens and then pass the rule that the Electoral College is out and it's a popular vote country, they will never lose another election. They will federalize every election. They will make Puerto Rico and Washington, D.C. states. They will pack the Supreme Court with 19 liberal. I'm telling you, they say it out loud. Believe them. Anyway, we got that going for us. Also, Carmela's sipping beer, having fun on the late night shows while people are dying and starving and, fleeing their homes to the hurricane. And then she complains that Donald Trump's the one who's politicizing things. I mean, do these people just have no freaking souls? Also, her husband's a pig. There's Doug Emhoff. Even when he was a lawyer at his law firm, they said, he was just a pig. He's a horn dog pig. All the girls are saying it. They all knew it. There's no freaking surprise about it. Anyway, yeah, that's true. Men are pigs, man. Anyway, also, let's do this. This is pretty cool. And again, we're going to have a little fun. We're not going to do all politics stuff because, we got stuff to do. But you will. One point I want to make before I forget. I'm sorry. I'm floundering. I'm just, my stomach, for some reason, my stomach hurts. I don't know what's, it takes me like 7 or 8 hours before my stomach stops bothering me for some reason these days. And everything's fine. I'm just, it's just.
Too much coffee.
Well, no, I don't, everything's changed. I don't know. I don't even care. But it's just, it's going along.
I've given up on life.
I'm not sleeping, so sometimes I get a little scatterbrained here. But 2 things. We're going to play the 2 sound bites showing this really is the key. And I hope Donald Trump made this soundbite into a political commercial immediately, where Carmela the Shiftless goes on The View. The safest place in the world for her to go on TV to do an interview, on The View. And they ask her the question, what would you do differently looking back on the last 4 years? And she said, not a thing. I can't think of anything. Oh, my God. And they're the ones who want change from what you did, but I wouldn't do anything different. I mean, that one. And then, then obviously, her staff said, oh, my God, you freaking idiot. Have you seen the reaction to this? So several hours later, when she does the taping for the Stephen Colbert show, he asks her the same question so that she can set it right again, and she blows it again. Nothing but word salad. I mean, she didn't even correct herself. Oh, I can't believe. Well, you're going to hear it. I mean, it's just fantastic. So we got that coming up, and the top of our newsy stuff here shortly. But first of all, this is kind of cool. Pete Davis found this list. There was a company or a website or something. I got it here somewhere and I can't find it. The End of Care, a charity called End of Care. They did a survey and some research with thousands of people, adults who are dying or have people who were dying and so forth. And they asked them a question: what are the songs that you want to hear when you die? If you're dying and you know you're dying, what do you want to hear from music? Do you want to have music playing when you're dying? Is a basic question. They came up with a top 10 songs chosen by people who were dying to play during their final moments. Their favorite songs to play when they're dying, when they know they're dying. Flounder, let's go with number 10. And again, we'll start this off and see if you can believe this. The number 10 most popular song for people who were dying to play as they slip into the next world.
Those were the days of our lives. Bad things in life were so few.
This is Queen. These are the days of our lives.
I've never heard that song.
I've never heard this song. Flounder, do you know this song?
Yeah, the video, if you watch the video, you could tell it was when Freddie Mercury started to get really sick.
Oh,
he started to really get thin.
So obviously that's makes sense. I'll be damned. Well, it's a pretty song. I mean, I like the melody and I like the chorus. I mean, I like the.
Go back one time on a roller coaster ride.
No, it's a little weird for me. But anyway, it's Queen at number 10, the song to die with. Anyway, so we'll do that through the day as we get along. 311, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, how's it going? Okay, let's do this. Oh, God, I didn't write down the numbers on these. Hold on, Flounder. Cut number 4. Got to make a note here. I don't know why I got delayed on this thing. It's my fault, and I'm an idiot. Let's see. Cut number 4 here, Flounder. Lawrence, Kansas, University of Kansas. An instructor whose name has been hidden, but obviously his video is out there, so you can identify him. The University of Kansas has put this idiot instructor on administrative leave because he said this, cut number 4, to his classes about voting for a certain candidate this year.
There are going to be some males in our society that will refuse to vote for a potential female president because they don't think females are smart enough to be president. We could line all those guys up and shoot them. They clearly don't understand the way the world works. Did I say that? Scratch that from the recording. I don't want the deans hearing that I said that.
Yeah. Well, we all heard it. We all heard it. He did mean it.
He means it. He was serious.
I can't remember who it was. Who was that? I can't remember whether it was a media guy or a congressman who, during the January 6th business, said that those people should just be shot. Just shoot all those protesters going in the Capitol. Remember that?
But you know what? He said the exact truth. That's how the world works. And leftist authoritarian regimes, they shoot you if you don't vote the way they want you to vote.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly correct. And by the way, there's a, quote, media relations official. This is University of Kansas in Lawrence, Kansas, says the instructor, who's not named, offers his sincerest apologies and deeply regrets the situation. What do you mean the situation? His intent... I love this part. His intent was to emphasize his advocacy for women's rights and equality, and he recognizes he did a very poor job of doing so. The university has an established process for situations like this, and we will follow the process. What does that mean? They're going to put him on paid vacation for a couple of weeks and then let him back and talk about it or something? I mean, this is unbelievable.
He called for the murder of anybody who doesn't vote the way he wants to vote. He probably called for people to be put in concentration camps who didn't take the shot. These are authoritarians, and they will kill you if they get the chance. If they get power, they'll kill you.
And even obviously he meant it, what he said, and then as he was speaking, he clearly realized, boy, this is going to sound bad. He was trying to cover his butt, trying to almost make a light thing at the end of it, which is not acceptable. But even the fact that he would think like this, he would say these thoughts out loud to college students at a time in our country where Donald Trump got shot in the face and was nearly assassinated twice. And this Kansas professor instructor has the balls to say that, to call for the murder of men who won't vote for that side piece tramp. God, I mean, this is, I don't know, I'm flabbergasted. I can't, have you ever heard of such a thing? In college. And I didn't hear any of the kids going, ooh, boo, or anything else. Thank God they didn't start clapping. That's maybe a good sign. They're probably all too freaking shocked. Even the liberal Kansas kids are probably too freaking shocked. My God, 3:15, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Good Lord.
Hey, it's Flounder, and the Kimmer Show is live every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m.
Free speech is like a pressure cooker and the valves on the pressure cooker. If you start shutting off all the places that the valves are, guess what happens?
Well, that's why we have the other amendment, like the second one, so we can keep our guns. I mean, seriously, that's what they do when they shut you up and then try to get your guns, and they'll never get to stage 2.
The Kimmer Show, every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on XTRA 106.3 and the XTRA app.
There we go. It's 3:15. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. How's it going? Happy hump day. I wish our guys, Jeff and Mark and the gang at Atlanta Safe House, could keep us all safe from these idiots. Honest to goodness, even talking about stuff like that, it's appalling. And again, I don't want to make light of in any way of a tragedy like the hurricane. But again, a safe is a very important thing to have when things might happen to destroy the stuff you need to keep track of, like my medical records, which I'd lost when I was down in Florida and didn't have my Atlanta Safe House down there when I retired like an idiot, and I suffered for it and still am, and it's my fault. It's the way it goes. And again, you don't want to think about tragedies, but even if if you have stuff in a cardboard box in your basement, and boy, I've done it, all it takes is a flood or some kind of tragedy or something, or thieves and robbery, stuff like that. Get yourself a safe. Good grief. Atlanta Safe House, a couple of very important things. First of all, they make sure that when they deliver their safe to your office or business or anywhere you want it, to your home, in your garage, they can bolt it into your concrete floor in your garage or game room, whatever, downstairs, basement, anything like that. They make sure they only use off-duty police, firefighters, and military folks because you can trust them in your territory. Also, everything is always on sale. It's hundreds of dollars on Gun Safe Month, for crying out loud, and they can design them any way you want for nooks and crannies and shelving units. They have all the top brands. Check out their pistol safes. Holy cow. Incidentally, if you're in Ackworth, they have their showroom in Ackworth off Industrial Boulevard, and they love it when you just stop in and say hi, see what's going on, and check out the stuff. They can build you a family storm shelter. And don't forget, for the rest of the year, every safe you buy Atlanta Safe House, no sales tax. They pay the sales tax. Special rebates, special deals, everything's on sale. Please tell them the Kimmer sent you. AtlantaSafeHouse.com.
Central Heating and Air Conditioning wants you to know the start of the new season is the perfect time to ensure your home's comfort for the fall and winter. Don't wait like most people do to have your HVAC system serviced. Your home should have maintenance twice a year. Maintenance helps keep your furnace running at peak efficiency and extends the life of your equipment. Turn to the experts for your system's maintenance at 770-GET-HEAT or centralheat.com. Central Heating and Air Conditioning can fix what ails your house and possibly your family with home ventilation and air quality products. Central has packages designed around health using variable speed, fresh air ventilation, air cleaners, air purifiers, dehumidifiers, and more. Carrier products, carrier warranty, and carrier peace of mind. Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier expert since 1947 and one of the few second-generation locally owned HVAC companies in Atlanta. Call 770-GET-HEAT or go to centralheat.com.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
Millions of guys suffer from erectile dysfunction. That's 1 in 4 men. And I can tell you, I'm one of them.
If you or someone you know suffer from ED, Peyronie's disease, or PE, here's 38-year emergency room doctor and founder of Total Body Therapy of Georgia, Dr. Eric Deal.
Patients who enter my office are often frustrated, hopeless, depressed, and embarrassed. I understand the problem, and I'm going to help you fix it. There are lots of competitors that don't have the credentials that I have. When you go to other clinics, you're not going to see a board-certified physician with the experience that I have. When you come to our clinic, you're going to see me. There's just not one therapy that can solve these complex issues. I'll do a complete history and physical prior to any treatment that we use. Take it from me, Dr. Deal. When it's not hard, it's really hard.
Call Dr. Deal for your free one-on-one evaluation and resolve your ED, Peyronie's, or PE issues. Total Body Therapy of Georgia, 404-777-1911, 404-777-1911, online at stopmyed.com.
Insurance companies know that you don't know a lot about the law, so maybe it would be better just to let your lawyer make the call to the insurance company when there's a problem. David Van Sant should be that lawyer. He used to work for the insurance company. He knows who to call, what to say, and he has your best interest at heart. Plus, if you don't get paid, either does he. Van Sant Law, 855 GA Injury or vansantlaw.com.
Boy. Doing it there. Riddle me this, Batman. I'm sure you have more toys than any adult man or woman I've ever known in my life by a million.
You know who gives me all these toys?
Yeah, girlfriends.
Listeners.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
cool. Even
some
better.
girlfriends, but listeners, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, actually, I've collected a bunch of crap like that over the years.
Yeah, and I can't throw it away.
No, I've got all my...
got a memory, you know.
Yeah, ask Flounder. You've seen all the crap I have in my place. It's rather hideous. And I got to do something with it. My daughter keeps saying, Dad, nobody wants your crap. So I should just... My trophies for winning the club championship and McDonald Ross course growing up, I can't throw those away.
All those fake photos with Jim Brown and Archie Manning. I mean, come on.
Scorecards where they signed their... Yeah. 321, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. This is some Foo Fighters. Number 1 in the U.S. album chart with their 9th album, Concrete and Gold. It was their second album to debut at number 1. Dave Grohl had ended a self-imposed 6-month hiatus from music to record the album while recovering from an injury sustained on the Sonic Highways World Tour. What kind of injury? I don't know anything about that. I don't know. Anyway, Dave Grohl's okay now.
He was doing a show in London, and he fell off a stage and broke his leg. But actually, he went off stage for 2 songs and then came back and did the rest of the show.
Oh, I think I remember that now. I think you mentioned that one time before. 321, phone calls take priority. Scotty, you're on the radio, man. What's going on?
Hey, Semper Fi, welcome home, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Shout out to YouTube Mafia.
There you go.
I just got a question. With this hurricane about to cut Florida in half, this and North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, how's the voting going to go?
Well, I know that in the Carolinas, they're already making plans. Obviously, they're going to have to do something to make sure people can be identified as qualified to vote and find a place to vote, and obviously open up all kinds of sites. I mean, it's going to be a nightmare, but again, you know, they're going to have to handle it, obviously.
Well, DeSantis is doing a hell of a job. And then I just had a comment. I don't know if you saw today that Biden and Harris and Mayorkas, they're all on TV now starting giving daily updates on what's going on, that they haven't done that in 3 years. Let's say.
Well, all of a sudden now, in fact, we're going to talk, and thanks, Scotty, I appreciate it. Coming up, we're going to talk about the fact when she was on last night drinking beer while the people are suffering because of the storm and also getting, you know, why isn't she doing anything except campaigning with her, the people who are the least of her enemies. They're always going to treat her the sweetest and the kindest. Anyway, so while people are trying to suffer. And now all of a sudden, and then President Showers with your daughter went on to talk about the hurricane and what's the latest and stuff, like he knows now suddenly. All of a sudden, they're taking interest in it. Unbelievable. All right, hold on. I got me distracted here. 323. Our happy birthday to Robert Wall, the actor, 73, W-A-H-L. Robert Wall. I think he was that reporter in Cobb. He was He was Arliss, which was
Batman.
Batman was a Batman. He was also a coach in Bull Durham. One of the coaches on the team in Bull Durham. Robert Wall is 73 years old today. He's fun, a nice little actor. And on this day in history, you know, I double check this because every time this comes up, I always fake myself out. 1930, when I read this, here's what the actual, I look a bunch of history sites, Flounder looks up history sites, and I put them all together and come up with a thing. So I wrote this, and this is what the actual history file said about this particular thing on this date. 1930, aviator Laura Ingalls lands in Glendale, California to complete the first solo transcontinental flight across the country by a woman. End quote, been done. Okay, Laura Ingalls. Now, when I heard the name Laura Ingalls, when I read this, I said, God, is that the same woman who did the story Little House on the Prairie, wrote those books and so forth? And I said, oh my God, I got to check this out. So, and that's all I said. And I thought, oh my God, she's a famous author and she's also a famous aviator. That's unbelievable. So I looked it up, and guess what? Here's more on this Laura Ingalls. She's not the writer of Little House on the Prairie, okay, the story about the house on the prairie. But also Laura Ingalls, the pilot Laura Ingalls, was arrested in 1941 as an unregistered foreign agent for the Nazis. She was hired. My God, she was hired. She was hired to spread propaganda at rallies in 1941 in America to help the Nazi cause before we got into World War II. I'm sorry. And she went to prison for 20 months. But that's, you'd think they would have put that as part of the fact. She's famous for being an aviator. How about being a freaking Nazi underhanded spy, for God's sakes.
What was it about aviation that led people to Nazism?
Yeah, Lindbergh. Jeez. Unbelievable. Anyway, 3:25. Newsy stuff. And then we're going to do, also, Pete, I think, that graph was, Pete Davis sent a graph of somebody did a study and showed the ways that couples have met since 1950, let's say, in the last 75 years. It showed a chart of the ways that people met their mate, whether it was at school, work, job, home, whatever. And wait till you hear some of the weird things and what we are living in today, which explains everything, by the way. But first, more newsy stuff. 326, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. And our number, 404-741-1230, 741-1230. You rang?
You know there's a hurricane going on.
Yeah, I'm just going to get to it right now. If I want to do all the political stuff. The hurricane hasn't. I want to do the political stuff first. I mean, this is dangerous. Do it. Tim Walsh, false Walsh, the tampon king, the dirty, rotten, chicken-livered, yellow-bellied coward. And I would love to say it to his face. I'd spit in his face. Tim Walsh, the governor of Minnesota, one of the worst states where you can have an abortion, even when the babies are born alive by mistake. And he signed the law to allow that to happen. Tim Walsh, doing an interview as part of his campaign stop last night, says, I think all of us know the Electoral College has to go. He was in California with Governor Newsom. He said, we need a national popular vote. That is something, but that's not the world we live in. He calls himself a popular national vote guy. Democrats have grown concerned that Harris could win the popular vote, but not enough electoral votes to win the election, just like Hillary Rodham P. Stinky Fart Cabbage won the popular vote in 2016 by 3 million, but she didn't get the necessary electoral votes at 270. That was in 2016. 4 years later, 2000, Al Gore earned 500,000 more votes than George W. Bush, but Bush got more electoral votes, which is the point. If they get rid of the Electoral College, oh my God, they will change everything. Every one of those people who came across the border illegally will become an American citizen. If they win, that's the first thing they'll do, pathway to citizenship, and then they get rid of the Electoral College. All those people are going to be new Democrat votes. They will never lose again. They'll pack the Supreme Court. Well, you know what's going to happen. I mean, talk about getting your guns. Holy crap. And guess who's going to be paying for all this stuff? Anyway, so that's a scary Electoral College thing. You got to keep track of this. Okay, the hurricane's coming. So last night, Carmela Sidepiece is on with Stephen Colbert drinking beer. Colbert is saying, boy, elections are won on vibes. And the old saw is somebody they want to have a beer with. So Goody, he says, boy, would you like to have a beer with me so I can tell the people what it's like to have a beer with you? And she says, oh, sure, like it was big. Well, of course, they set it up in advance, and he admitted it because you can't just bring out and have the vice president of the United States drink a beer without checking on things. And she talks about ordering a Miller High Life, which she said I had the last one at a ball game or something, like she's like one of the gang. And then she starts slamming the so-called misinformation to manipulate voters in the wake of Hurricane Helene. And then she claims about Donald Trump, have you no empathy for the suffering of other people? She says things like that while she's having a beer on TV with Stephen Colbert. I mean, my God, talk about tone deaf. And then this is freaking fantastic. Cut number 1 coming up here, Flounder. You'll recall on The View, again, Carmela Sidepiece has started doing interviews, but she's doing interviews with people like Howard Stern and places like The View, where she totally as safe as she can be, although she is so stupid. This happened. It's worth repeating in case you haven't heard about it. On The View, she was asked a very simple question about to try to show that she's different than Joe Biden. They asked her very simply about the differences that there would have been under her administration in the last several years. Flounder, let's play cut number 1, if you would, sir.
Well, if anything,
this is The View.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
There's nothing that comes to mind, and I've been a part of all those decisions and had impact. Yeah, like the withdrawal from Afghanistan, the open borders, the fentanyl murder.
Economy.
Oh, my God. Yeah, the gas prices, the closed pipeline, the open border. Oh, my God.
We're good. I'm good.
That's all Trump needs to do is to play that for 60 seconds over and over.
Not doing anything different.
Oh, my God.
Stay the course.
Okay, but this is the funny part. Okay, that was one time. Okay, then hours later, she's going to go on Stephen Colbert. So you know the people who were her handlers are going, oh, my God, you freaking idiot. You just handed Trump the election, so we're going to make sure that Stephen Colbert asks the same question so you can make up for the idiot comments on The View. Flounder, cut number 2, when she went on Colbert last night trying to save her.
What would the major changes be?
Same
and
question.
What would stay the same?
Sure. Well, I mean, I'm obviously not Joe Biden.
I know.
And so that would be one change in terms of. Yes. But also, I think it's important to say with, 28 days to go, I'm not Donald Trump.
That's what the differences would be. She said, I love and she said, if I were being elected president, it's about, frankly, I love the American people and I believe in our country. I love that it's our character and nature to be an ambitious people. We have aspirations, we have dreams, we have incredible work ethic. And I just believe that we can create and build upon the success we've achieved in a way that we can continue to grow opportunity and in a way grow the strength of our nation. What the hell did I just read? And what has that got to do with what she would have done differently in the last 4 years? How is that different from anybody saying anything about America or anything else? Oh, my God. She blew the question twice.
Biden's already pissed at her. And she just basically went on national television and said, well, I'm not Joe Biden.
Oh, my God. And that's why he's doing things at the same time she is to stab her in the neck with it. Oh, my God. They're coming apart. But I hope people see this. I mean, this is hysterical. She blew the question twice in one day.
This is going to be an HBO miniseries about the fall of the Democratic White House.
Oh, my God. And if she wins, honestly, I'm going to... Oh, please. I can't even put the thought out there. 3:30... She blew the same question twice and within about like 6 hours.
She's used to blowing twice in a day. So,
All right, hold on. 3:32. Kimber, Pete, and Flounder. It's freaking hump day, man. How you doing? Look out. Get out of here.
Atlanta radio legends collide on XTRA 106.3. The legend Neil Bortz is live every week with Atlanta legend The Kimmer. Because when you get these two guys together, who knows where we'll end up?
I am shocked. Well, not that shocked.
The Kimmer is live on your drive home every weekday afternoon from 3 to 6. And now Neil Bortz joins this show every week. And if you miss it, catch up anytime on the XTRA 106.3 app.
Hey, it's Mike with Atlanta Painting Company. In this fall, we invite you to transform your home. Our expert team brings color to life with top quality paints and flawless finishes, and leading the industry with our color consultants. Whether it's a fresh coat of paint for one room or an entire exterior makeover, the Atlanta Painting Company has you covered. So, trust the local pros for reliable, professional service when you need to revive your home or business. Find us at atlantapaintingcompany.com or call us at 1-800-PAINTING. That's atlantapaintingcompany.com. The Atlanta Painting Company, the painters you can trust.
My fellow Americans, our yards are in troubled times. Unwanted weeds are crossing fence lines across our great nation, and we need to put a stop to it. No more college football Saturdays spent mowing the lawn. No, sir. Let's turf it with ultra-premium artificial grass from ATL Turf Co. They're Atlanta and North Georgia's first choice for premium turf solutions, from incredible lawns to custom putting greens. Let's make your yard great again with a free consultation at atlturfco.com.
Hey Atlanta, it's Mark from the Safe House. You've heard me talk about fake safes, and while that's a really bad way to secure your valuables, you want to hear something that's even worse? Kamala Harris is president. Wow, let that sink in. That'll make you want to throw up. Well, there is good news. The Safe House has the largest selection of safes in the Southeast and some of the best pricing and rebates on safes this entire year. Secure your valuables in a quality safe from the Safe House. Drop by our showroom today or go to atlantasafehouse.com. That's atlantasafehouse.com.
What's up, Atlanta? It's Ben Burnett, host of the Weekend Ben Burnett Show. Each and every weekend, right here on XTRA 106.3, we unpack all the week's events. We talk about all the issues with a local Atlanta-based flavor. You can catch me each and every weekend, Saturdays at 2 and Sundays at noon. If you ever miss an episode, you can go to the podcast park or wherever you download all of your content, and I'll be right there. Thanks for listening to the Ben Burnett Show, proudly brought to you by Butler Snow.
Time is up. The IRS is in full collection mode for 2024, issuing liens, levies, and garnishments to anyone who has a past tax debt or unfiled tax returns. Don't wait till it's too late. Your paycheck and bank accounts are at risk of being seized. Call now and stop the collection process today. If you're living check to check, no matter how much you're making, you still may qualify for the Fresh Start programs offered by the IRS to reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. It's just a 5-minute call to get your options, and it's free. If you owe back taxes, have years of unfiled tax returns, under audit, have a wage or bank levy, or finally just want to sleep better, business or personal, call the experts at Republic Tax Relief while there's still time. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and tough. This veteran-owned company has the fight you need to take on the IRS. Don't go at it alone. The call is free. Call their hotline number now, 800-652-1714. That's 800-652-1714. Find out if you qualify today. Call 800-652-1714 or go to republictaxrelief.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary. Paid for by AMD Financial.
Howdy, 336. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Storms coming to Florida, probably by late tonight, they say. And winds are it's like 160 mile an hour winds. By the way, Neil Bortz called in the morning show today. I talked to him, and apparently he's, I think they're probably out of danger. The last I saw, looking at charts, the wind speed that will hit Naples area where he is, he and his lovely bride are more like 60 miles an hour. So I think they're probably going to be fine. Anyway, 336, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder with Nirvana here. In 1993, Nirvana entered the album chart at number 1 with In Utero. Jeez. Their third and final studio album. Kurt Cobain had originally wanted to name the album I Hate Myself and I Want to Die. Jeez.
You're not making that up.
Oh, man.
Yeah. This was their last album, too. There's a line in this song where he kind of makes fun of his fans. He says, I wish I was like you, easily amused.
Oh, man. Wait, how do you suppose, who knows how that...
I finally started liking him and he kills himself.
No, I didn't. It's just horrible. Oh, look at this.
There's a conspiracy theory that his wife...
Courtney Love?
Yeah, killed him.
I've heard that.
Now, again, I'm not saying it's true or anything, but it's just a theory.
Could have been Hillary. Maybe she called Hillary. 337. Well, Hillary Rodham P. Stinky Fart Cabbage, the only person I know who can determine when somebody's going to die with one phone call. So, 337. Birthday list includes Sean Lennon, John and Yoko's son, 49. And by the way, also this birthday is John Lennon's birthday. Born in 1940, died 40 years later. John Lennon's birthday, also Sean Lennon, his son, 49 years old.
He would have been 84, John.
Yeah. And on this day in history, in 1973, Elvis and Priscilla Presley got divorced in Santa Monica, California. 6 years of marriage till, I guess what, she found somebody better. Scylla was awarded $1.5 million in cash, $4,000 a month in alimony. Half for only 1 year. Oh my God! Half the sale price of their $750,000 home, and a 5% interest in 2 of his publishing companies. Gosh, he should have been married to me. Anyway, so it's 338. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. 404-741-1230. Speaking of wishing you were dead, there's this group, an end-of-life charity care charity group came up with a list of the top 10 songs that people have chosen to play when they are dying. That they know they're dying, they're on their deathbed, and they want to hear music. And these are the top 10 songs. We played number 10 earlier. These are the Days of Our Lives by Queen. Number 9, Flounder, if you will. This is the number 9 song that people want to hear if they know they're dying. They want to hear this.
Don't let me down.
The Beatles.
You have found her. Now go and get her. Remember,
I wouldn't have thought this would...
into your heart.
This must have emotional meaning personally for people.
No. It's 8 minutes long, and they get to live longer till they end.
I can't die now. That's cold.
Wait till the end.
That's cold. 3:39. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. 404-741-1230. Anyway, thank you, Flounder. Hurricane Milton expected to be so powerful. And now they're saying, I think, 160-ish mile-an-hour winds. It is changing. They're still expecting up to 15 feet in a storm surge. That's big. If you go outside your house, 15 feet high is where the water's going to go.
Well, have you watched the Weather Channel where they stand there and they have the CGI behind them, and it shows how high above them the water would be?
It's like the movie. It's like a movie.
4 stories.
Yeah,
3 or 4 stories.
Yeah. You can't survive that.
4 stories.
They say the surge could cause erosion and overwash 100% of Florida's beaches. The impact from Milton, the storm, to Florida's west coast cannot be overstated. It'll be even worse because of the damage already from the erosion caused by Helene. The west coast already experienced overwash, inundation, complete erosion of dunes, meaning protective banks of sand that usually help the shoreline no longer exist. They forecast a severe level of coastal damage will cause flooding behind the sand dunes, endangering coastal communities. And I can tell you that, again, my parents had a place in Bonita Springs, which is near Naples. And we used to go down there and visit and stay for spring vacation, stuff like that. And so I'm very familiar with the area of Bonita Springs and Naples area. And my mother was a famous champion sheller. She would get us up. We'd go out at 5 o'clock in the morning before dawn and be the first people on the beach collecting shells that would come in from the overnight, tide and so forth. And they were beautiful. I'm talking about the real special ones, conchs, and just beautiful colored shells. And she would make lamps out of them and make things to send people as gifts and stuff. She did it as a hobby every single day forever. And then all of a sudden, one of those hurricanes hit. And the next time we went down, the shelling was gone because the beaches had been washed away. There were now inlets where the beaches were no longer connected in that same section. There's going to be damage, and it will affect the communities in that area. By the way, Florida has sent 5,000 National Guards, 3,000 more before the storm makes landfall are on the way. The Transportation Department has opened up the shoulders on the interstates going north to speed up evacuation so you can drive anywhere you can get on. No more tolls, obviously. So they're doing, whatever they can to make sure things are going on. Oh, also, I got to get to my Mr. Phone here because I got a story I got on Mr. Phone. This is a mayor in North Carolina speaking about FEMA relief. A North Carolina mayor says his daughter lost everything, lost her home to Hurricane Helene, and FEMA turned her down for the $750 lousy emergency grant. He's the mayor of Newland, North Carolina. Derek Roberts. His daughter applied for the $750 serious needs assistance from FEMA when her home was decimated by the floodwaters 2 weeks ago. My daughter has said her house got completely wiped out, no flood insurance, meets with a FEMA guy, applies for everything. She doesn't get the $750 that Kamala says she would. Instead, she gets approved for $300. What's she supposed to do with that? That's all she's got. Her entire first floor is gone. Everything is gone. It's all gone. That wouldn't even cover the cost of what was in her refrigerator. And by the way, after that, you can apply for more funds based on the agency's assessment. Yeah, when you get to it, and then apply and fill out the paperwork and somehow get it to good Lord. They're calling out FEMA for not doing, they're not ready. The Good Samaritans are banding together to do a lot better job than the FEMA people are doing. But again, how could you turn down anybody who's been in a freaking hurricane and lost their home? How could you say anything other than here's everything we can give you and you're going to get it? How could they say, well, we'll give you less than half of what you're for a lousy $750? That's just astounding. That's your government. That's your, it's just, this is what they do.
It's insulting, and it just adds to the thought that they're trying to just basically eradicate the conservative people off the face of the earth.
And by the way, I just committed I guess a treasonous comment, according to the podium princess and the White House administration. If you start saying that people are not getting the help they need, that therefore you're being an un-American, acting as an anti-American, spreading false information and false rumors that will make people not want to apply for aid. I mean, this is how, not only do they say, screw you with your money you're not going to get, and then they say, if you say anything about it, then you're a bad American and you're going to cause other people to suffer. It's unbelievable. They get you no matter what. Don't dare question us. Jeez, oh my God. 344. Hold on. We got so much more here. Let's do a little, I'll tell you what, we'll do, Founder, we'll do a sound bites on the 60 Minutes business coming up here in a second. First of all, just for the record, and we're going to talk more about the Kamala site. You're going to hear the comments that were edited again. And by the way, I don't think CBS has made an official statement yet about the editing of that transcript of the 60 Minutes interview that I know of. And we'll get to it. First of all, an update on Carmela Side-Piece's husband, Doug Emhoff, who obviously is a pig and a horn dog. At his own prestigious Los Angeles law firm, he was known as being flirty with women, retaliated against those who did not return his flirty behavior, and he hired a model once as a trophy secretary that everybody knew about for the obvious reason. He would single out young pretty girls at the firm. He's now been sued, a law firm against him and his partners. He would invite hot girls to cruise around with him in his convertible and in his limo. He was described as a misogynist. He would scream at the women and tell them to get that blank out of my office. I'll have to put her in her place. He had a reputation for being very flirty with the female colleagues, and you put him on this blank list of the subject to retaliation. There were deadlines that if you were his favorite person, they'd let you go, but if you were not flirty with him, you're going to be in trouble. Let's see. He hired a girl named Katla, who was known as completely unqualified, but she was a knockout, and so they were all made a joke about it because that's what he would do. In fact, one guy said, hey, I want to get a knockoff just like Doug Emhoff got for himself. He was known as an office bully. One story after another. Of course, he also cheated on his first wife with her nanny, knocked her up and had her get an abortion. And then he also smacked around his ex-girlfriend, at the time she was his girlfriend, for flirting with a valet worker, trying to get them a ride for an Uber or something or other. So he almost punched her out until she fell over. I mean, this is what a guy. And by the way, he was doing this stuff, the second thing, while he was married to Carmela. Anyway, all right, 346, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder on 106.3. How's your Wednesday going? 404-741-1230 if you want to join us, which is always a fun idea.
The party that's been screaming the most about election interference from the Russians is wanting millions of people to cross the border legally and vote in our election.
Yeah, right.
The Kimmer Show every afternoon from 3 to 6 p.m. on XTRA 106.3 and the XTRA app.
Are you looking for something simple but delicious, sweet but also savory? Discover Schumann Farms Sweet Onions. Schumann Farms is a third-generation family farm with the Real Sweet brand and Mr. Buck's brand sweet onions. Each brand brings savory, sweet deliciousness to every meal. Whether you're grilling, sautéing, or simply adding a fresh crunch to your salad, Schumann Farms has you covered. Look for Schumann Farms Real Sweet brand and your Mr. Buck's brand sweet onions at your grocery store and taste the difference for yourself. Schumann Farms, the Georgia family farm growing tradition and the world's sweetest onions. Hey sandwich lovers, today's your lucky day. There's a whole new way to roll for lunch or dinner delight with Nucky's Hoagies in the Roswell Corners Shopping Center. Now open. Nucky's Hoagies in Roswell is family owned and operated by the Sub-Sisters, Stacy and Shannon, whose love language is food and Nucky's Hoagies, their passion. When you bite into a Nucky's Hoagie, you'll taste the difference. The softest hoagie rolls ever, along with hunger-quenching sandwich combinations. Make Nucky's Hoagies in Roswell on Woodstock Road your new favorite spot for lunch or dinner.
As an official community partner of the Atlanta Braves and the Atlanta Braves Foundation, the Warrior Alliance connects warriors and their families to free services such as health and wellness, housing, employment, education, legal services, and so much more. We need your financial support to increase our impact and change thousands of lives for those who served in the U.S. Armed Forces. It takes more than just thank you for your service. Make a donation to help warriors navigate to success after service. Go to thewarrioralliance.org/donate and make a difference today.
Hey, Jimmy, what's going on?
Oh, hey, Bobby. It's kind of embarrassing. I'm having deck problems.
You're having deck problems?
Hey, keep it down. It's embarrassing.
Look, there's plenty of guys in the neighborhood with deck problems. What's the matter with yours?
Well, it's small and old compared to yours.
All right, let's not make this a deck measuring competition. You just need to call Excavations. They've seen decks of all sizes, shapes, and colors. Good news is Excavations can build you a sweet new deck that you'll love to show off to your friends and neighbors. Don't worry, Jimmy. We're going to get you some big deck energy.
Hi, this is Candace with Excavations, and have I got a tip for you. Don't feel ashamed of your deck. Excavations can build an outdoor living space that you'll be proud of. And with our Exavision, we'll be able to show you your home's transformation before you even begin the work. Keep the HOA off your deck and give us a call today for decks, windows, siding, roofing, and more. Or visit us at exovations.com to get inspired.
Looking for bold discussions on vital issues? Tune in to the Janelle King Show every Saturday at 3 p.m. with an encore episode every Sunday at 9 a.m. right here on XTRA 106.3, where we dive into kitchen table topics that are essential for a strong republic. Don't miss an episode, but if you do, it's all good because we have new podcasts that drop every Tuesday on the Podcast Park or wherever you get your podcasts. Don't miss out on these thought-provoking conversations.
I just realized I didn't. Oh my God, on my history list, I didn't put down one thing that I actually Googled to find more information about. You idiot. I'll be damned. I'll make that note when I give it to him. Hi, guy. How you doing? 350. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. On 106.3, our number 404-741-1230. And this little ditty is by Stone Roses. I've never heard of them or their music. 1990, all four members of the so-called Stone Roses were each fined $4,000 after being found guilty of criminal damage at their former record company offices. I guess they were probably fired for having no talent or something. It's possible. I don't know. I'm guessing. Our birthday list includes Zachary Ty Bryan. He's 43. He was Tim Allen's oldest son, Brad, on Home Improvement. Zachary is 43 years old today. And I'll do this one. I can't believe I just realized I had it on my phone because I had to Google it. And I got like three sources here. Okay, here we go. Hold on. I got a thing here. Froggy? There we go. Okay. On this day, 1967. And again, for all you college people, you probably love that University of Kansas guy, but all you liberal college people who love Che Guevara and wear his T-shirts all over the place, check this out. On this day, 1967, revolutionary guerrilla leader Che Guevara, age 39, killed by the Bolivian army. The American military-backed Bolivian forces captured him the day before, battling as guerrillas in Bolivia. His hands were cut off as proof of death, and his body was buried in an unmarked grave. That was 1967 on this day. 30 years later to the day, Guevara's remains were found and sent back to Cuba, where they were reburied in a ceremony attended by President Fidel Castro and thousands of Cubans. Che Guevara was a doctor, got a medical degree in 1953, would go through Latin America, left-wing organizations, met with Fidel Castro. Then they had a falling out, opposed U.S. domination in Latin America. But he was also advocated peasant-based revolutions. And let's see, 1960... him in a beret became an iconic photo, appeared on countless posters and T-shirts. But Che Guevara also murdered and ordered the murders and deaths of hundreds of people in Cuban prisons during the revolution. He has been responsible for killing women and children. I mean, the man was a butcher. He was a revolutionary, and but he was also not a very nice man. So when you put his picture,
he hated.
Yeah, go ahead.
He hated black people.
Yeah.
Just despised black people.
Yeah, that was 1967 when they finally killed him, Che Guevara. So if you're wearing his sweatshirt or something, think about the true story before you go going around like that. And again, if you didn't hear the Kansas University story, we'll get to that a little bit later on. First of all, I'm just kind of flashing through the newsy stuff. We're going to talk about that 60 Minutes thing here. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, 353. The Harris campaign says, oh, no, wait, we had nothing to do with this. The Harris campaign is now distancing itself from the editing scandal at 60 Minutes and CBS News with a different answer to a same question that the 60 Minutes interview did. CBS had been called on by Donald Trump and everybody else, including us, to release the actual transcript and then explain why they edited the interview to make her sound better. And the Harris campaign says we had nothing to do with it. It's common they edit things in news packages. If it was different, we don't know anything about it. We don't control their production decisions. Refer to CBS. We didn't do anything. We didn't know anything about that. Well, how about Flounder? Let's play. This was the original version of the answer when the guy asked her about support for Hamas and the Israeli leader. And there's how the first question came out this way, the first answer.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
The movements and advocacy for what needs my God, has no meaning. Now, when the show actually aired, that was a preview clip. When the show actually aired, somebody got to CBS and said, no, she sounds like too much of a freaking idiot, so change it. And this is what they actually aired on 60 Minutes.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu
is
not
answer.
Listening.
We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
Wow. And how can you possibly explain it other than CBS either made the decision on its own or kowtowed to a politician to change the answer of an interview that would possibly make a difference in how people vote for President of the United States, deliberately slanting the coverage for the benefit of one candidate. What do you call that? What other explanation is there for that but what we just caught them doing? And CBS isn't saying anything about it. I guess they're going to just ignore it. Who cares? Nobody's going to say anything. Yeah. Oh, my God. I'm just making so freaking mad. Donald Trump wants that. Donald Trump's demanding it. The non-edited actual transcript of what was said. Somebody needs to explain it. Somebody has to explain this. Flounder, we got a funnies coming up. First of all, just for fun, you want to do cut number 8 of the. Somebody did a survey, a group that helps people die peacefully and so forth. Did a survey of the songs that people want to hear when they're dying. Songs to die by. This is number 8. The number 8 song people in the survey said they want to use when they're dying.
No matter what they say.
Christina Aguilera.
Words can't bring me down. I am beautiful in every single way. Yes, words can't bring me down.
That's another pretty song. Kind of sad, but
Don't you bring me down.
I wonder whether now would you? Well, let me ask you: would you, if you knew you're on your deathbed, and the doctor says, "Look, this is it. You're going to be passing away shortly." Would you want to hear? Do you have a song, Flounder? Any idea? Would you want to have music playing, or would you pick a? Do you have a thing at the top of your head? You ever thought about it? I've never thought about it.
Yeah, I haven't really thought about it.
Yeah.
I remember at Kara's funeral, they played Joan Jett when they were carrying her casket out.
Yeah. Yeah, and now Pete Davis, have you ever thought about a song if you knew it was going to happen?
I'd like to hear Street Fight Man one more time, but I also would play a song by Vera Lynn, which they played at the end of Dr. Strangelove when all the atomic bombs are going off.
Huh?
Will
we meet again? Yeah, famous. Yeah, what was it?
Don't know when.
Yeah, don't know when.
I love that song.
Yeah, outstanding. Anyway, pretty cool. 3:57. We got a little Flounder's Funny for Nucky's Holding. It's 3:57. Kimber, Pete, and Flounder.
Jews are not cheap, okay? Cheap people don't spend. We spend. We will spend. Just as long as we know we're spending less. Because for us, it's all about getting a good deal. You got to get a good deal. From the day you get circumcised, once you get that first 10% off, you're going to want it for the rest of your life. But everybody likes a good deal, right? The word sale wasn't invented just for us. There are no TV commercials that are like, we're having a huge sale. Jews. We're so good at bargaining and negotiating. You guys named a bargaining term after us. Jew 'em down. I heard of it. It's okay. See, some people are offended by that. Not me. I say it's about time we got recognized for our bargaining talents. I was in a store once. These two guys in front of me approaching the clerk. They were like, why don't we just Jew him down? I was like, excuse me, sir. I'm Jewish, and quite frankly, I'm a bit flattered by what you just said. How'd you hear about us? Seriously, we are good. I don't know. I'm trying to start a new slur for my people, negotiators, you know? Because I'd rather people think that we're good at, you know, negotiating and bargaining than cheap, because that's the truth. And then have, like, all the anti-Semites be like, negotiators, God negotiate. Then I say we start calling each other that, the way black people do. Yo, what's up, my negotiator? How much you pay for that negotiator, please?
That's pretty fun.
Elon Gold there.
Elon. That's pretty amusing. Coming up, by the way, speaking of the death songs, it seems that maybe Pete Rose knew that it was near the end because his friends sure did. We'll have that story. Plus, Jenna Fisher, Pam from The Office, revealed she had cancer. And it had a whole bunch of stuff, and it's doing a lot better right now. It's going to come up. Also, more with Pete Cameron Flounder and Pete's tweets and Flounder's funnies and Holy Crap at Sports and so much more. 404-741-1230. 4 o'clock with Cameron Pete Flounder.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. This hour is presented by Atlanta Safe House.
Power's already out in parts of Florida. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. More than 80,000 outages reported as Hurricane Milton also spawns tornadoes. Still hours away from landfall on Florida's Gulf Coast, with officials making a final plea for residents under evacuation orders to leave.
South of Tampa and Sarasota is coastal Charlotte County, Florida, where residents like Patty Lane boarded up her home in Punta Gorda before leaving.
The plan is to just go to some friends and stay and wait for it to pass.
And emergency manager Patrick Fuller says leaving is a good idea because shelter availability in Charlotte County is an issue depending on how much surge comes in.
Fox's Eben Brown, the entire Tampa Bay region and areas south of it considered at grave risk. President Biden accusing former President Trump of leading what he calls an onslaught of lies about the federal response to Hurricane Helene. But the former president not backing away from his criticism of the response to Helene, especially in hard-hit North Carolina, and blaming Vice President Kamala Harris.
She's just led the worst rescue operation in history in North Carolina. The worst.
He's in Scranton, the president's childhood hometown, holding the first of 2 Pennsylvania rallies planned for today. FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell is in North Carolina.
We've been on the ground since before the storm happened, and just because somebody didn't see a person in a FEMA shirt doesn't mean that they weren't getting support. This is a true whole of community response.
Criswell also just telling Fox News her agency is currently supporting recovery efforts in more than 100 disasters across the U.S. Wall Street rallies. The Dow up 431 points to a new record. The S&P also finishing at a new high, and the NASDAQ up more than 100. America is listening to Fox News.
Hear that? It's the gentle sound of a waterfall on your hike. And if you were here, you'd take a deep breath of fresh air if you weren't so winded. But you're not here, because your self-care happens out on the road, riding your motorcycle protected by Progressive. And the bugs you wipe from your headlights are all the nature you need. So if you ride, see if you could save with Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Get an online quote in as little as 3 minutes. All from the great indoors. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated in the best hearing aids of 2024 by USA Today, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, just $189.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 500,000 happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
That's the old Beatles, the Timber Beatles. 1985, this would have been John Lennon's 45th birthday in 1985. And it was then that Yoko Ono formally opened the 3.5-acre garden at the Strawberry Fields in New York's Central Park. The area was planted with trees and shrubs and flowers gathered from across the world with a $1 million donation from Yoko, John Lennon's birthday, and also Sean Lennon's birthday, their son. Our other birthdays include Steve McQueen, 55, the director of 12 Years a Slave, among others. For a long time, I thought that was Steve McQueen, the dead actor's son. Of course, the man's black, so I don't really think that's... oh, look at this.
No.
My paper stood straight. Oh. No, they're standing straight up. You didn't get them. I just love to do that. I don't know. Isn't that stupid? Is that the dumbest thing you've ever seen in your life, where I just get the biggest kick out of putting the paper and they just stand straight up?
Yeah.
Just hard to believe. All right. I'm sorry. I'm not good.
Every day you ask that question. Every day
I'm not
the
good.
answer is yes.
I know. At least you can count on me. 404. On this day, speaking of the Beatles, 2011, on this day, Paul McCartney married American heiress Nancy Chevelle at a small ceremony in London. 2011, Ringo was there along with a few of my friends, and it was McCartney's third marriage, and apparently she hasn't found anybody better yet, so they're still going strong, which is fantastic.
Well, she's not going to find anybody.
Oh, well, she dies? That's one who, yeah.
No, I'm just saying that you're going to top Paul McCartney.
Yeah, no, I clearly. Well, who knows? You know, you'd be surprised. Sometimes you think you got everything for him, but by golly. Anyway, 405, our 4 o'clock hour, sponsored by Atlanta Safe House, home of the Kimmer safes, by the way. You need a safe. You don't know it's silly. When I went to Florida, didn't have my Atlanta Safe House, lost my stuff. You know about the story. They have a showroom in Ackworth, and please tell them I sent you when you check them out at atlantasafehouse.com. 404-741-1231.
I just read a headline on The Onion. I got to share it with you. Grandma who survived Great Depression casually drops that she once killed a man for mayonnaise.
Hell, I'd have done it. Man, I love mayonnaise. Put mayonnaise on everything. Oh, mercy. 404-741-1230. 404-741-1230. Let's see. Can I share a sweet, nice moment? Every day when I leave, sometimes as I'm leaving in the morning from my place to drive in here, you work from home in the morning for a while, and then I come in here. Hey, so and sometimes the mailman is delivering mail as I'm leaving my townhouse. And as I was leaving yesterday morning, I was leaving, and he was in there, and so I pulled up near his little cart there, and I had a bill I wanted to mail, and so I got out of my car with the mail in my hand, and I saw him, and he got out of his van. He was in his little truck. He got out of his van and walked around to me to save me a trip to walk over to him. And I said, well, I shall put this in the thing. He said, no, I'll take it. And he took it and he said, have a nice day, and I hope you're doing all right. Something. It was a nice gesture. And I just wanted to say, I was very impressed that, it was a very nice thing to do. And he's busy and doing stuff.
Did you get his number?
No. And by the way, he was a black gentleman. Not that it makes any difference, but just to show that we're all the same.
What?
Just want to keep.
You just want to let him know you're one of the good guys or something?
No, just all these freaking, these damn liberal Democrats are destroying our country. Everything they do is try to divide us. And every day I try, if I can show an example somewhere we're not divided at all, just stop doing that kind of stuff, I'll do it. So that was my little equity thing together and non-division. So there you are. I don't know.
Chief Equity Officer.
Know what I'm doing. Flounder, what's the matter?
Real quick, we got Rick the Painter on. He's got a one-liner for us.
Oh, all right, ladies and gentlemen, get your tape recorders out. Ready? It's 407, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Rick the Painter, you're on the radio. What's going on, man?
Hey, Kimmer, brother, I love you, man. Hey, yesterday I called you guys and was telling you how to repair a cracked pumpkin, if you remember.
Yes, I cracked pumpkin. Yes, you could. What now?
But, it's Halloween month, so I thought I'd call you today and ask you, do you know what kind of eggs that chickens lay on Halloween night?
What kind of eggs chickens lay on Halloween night? Golly, I don't know.
Deviled eggs.
Deviled eggs, ladies and gentlemen. Ho, hey. Wow. Rick, again, I hope you do this every day during the Halloween season because...
Why not?
Yeah.
Hell, I do it.
Did you carve your pumpkin?
No, I always do that the night before Halloween because, if it's a little hot, it kind of gets
Yeah, it
skanky.
gets a little messy. Yeah. Flounder, do you have a pumpkin?
Not yet, but we'll get one and carve it all up. Veronica is very big on decorating.
She looks like the type of. I'll bet she's a real holiday type freak about stuff, isn't she? I bet you got freaking decorations.
I remember I came home when she first started staying over a lot. I remember I came home one day and there was a wreath on my door. I was like, "What the hell is that?" And there was a plant right next to the door. I was like, "Okay,
wait a minute." By the way, if you ever get a house together, you know that none of your stuff is going in there, right?
Well, luckily the house we did find has a basement, and a quarter of it's finished. So I at least have a man cave.
Even better. Well, there you go.
And I will say the wreath on the door and the plant had an American flag.
Oh, there you are.
So I was all right with that.
In fact, I have my planters up on my deck, on my second floor deck outside by where the cul-de-sac is. I have two of the small American flags in both of my plants. Just look. It's a flag garden or whatever they used to call it. A victory garden, I think they called them.
Another reason we don't carve the pumpkins up here too early is because bears like when you leave food out on the porch for them.
Well, I guess that's true, too. That'd be cool. Pretty cool to have a bear, though, come and visit you. I mean, that would be really fun, I think. I would get some video on that baby. 409, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. How's it going? 404-741-1230. Let's do the cut number 4 again, Flounder. This is really amazing, and I hope this starts to get more coverage. Maybe it is. I don't know. I'm in here, and I'm not watching, international news stuff and things. But on this day, we report to you now, this is what's going on, not only with our system of higher education, but because of the liberals who believe that this kind of thing is fine. University of Kansas. A University of Kansas instructor has been put on administrative leave because during his instruction in his class, and the man is a male, he's unnamed, you're going to hear him here, he's unnamed, he's an instructor, doesn't say professor, says instructor. Not even sure what the class is. Obviously, it's out there somewhere. He's giving his instructions, and he starts talking politics, and this is University of Kansas instructor to college students on this day and this time in American history right now.
There are going to be some males in our society that will refuse to vote for a potential female president because they don't think females are smart enough to be president. We could line all those guys up and shoot them. They clearly don't understand the way the world works. Did I say that? Scratch that from the recording. I don't want the deans hearing that I said that.
Yeah.
Breathless as he said it.
I mean, he was up. He was getting up. He was getting worked up. He was getting. You could hear the thing in his voice where
excited.
He says, we could line up all those guys and shoot them. They clearly don't understand. I mean, you could hear it in his voice, and then he realized he sounds like a freaking maniac. But again, these are the people that got Donald Trump shot. And they're still saying it. What did he just talk about? People like me who won't vote for that woman. I should be shot. I'll tell you, I mean, this is, and incidentally, for the record, the so-called media relations PR guy for the University of Kansas said, we're not naming his name. Obviously, they know who he is locally because you can see him. He's on TV. The instructor, quote, the instructor offers his sincerest apologies and deeply regrets the situation. What do you mean the situation? His intent was to emphasize his advocacy for women's rights and equality, and he recognizes he did a very poor job of doing so. The university has an established process for situations like this and will follow that process. Well, that's nothing. It doesn't mean anything. But a strongly worded letter in his file, permanent file. We should be shot. And again, even just fooling around, these are college students. Seriously, this is what you think about politics in America today, that you would literally think after Donald Trump survived 2 assassination attempts with live ammo guns, including one that shot him in the face, and this college instructor is still thinking that people like us who vote for him should be shot?
He wasn't kidding either.
No, he wasn't kidding.
That wasn't a joke.
I mean, this is just...
Speaking of killing people, we have another addition to the top songs you want to listen while you're dying.
Oh, the top 10. It was a survey of people, the songs they want to listen to if they were dying on their deathbed. What, you got another one? What is it?
Blenda listener says, Chris Trapper's keg on my coffin. I haven't heard that one.
I do. What's the name of the guy again? What?
Chris Trapper.
Chris Trapper. Keg on my coffin.
Troubadour from this. He looks like got a guitar, will travel.
Yowie, yowie. 404-741-1230, 741-1230. Again, if you just joined us, CBS has not responded to the scandal of them editing Carmela's side piece's answer to make her look sound better, although the the Harris campaign denies anything to do with the scandalous. But they've got to be called out. Is there any public thing? Now, again, I don't watch mainstream news. I don't watch anything really. I have Fox on while I'm doing my stuff at night working on the next show. Have you heard anything about CBS in the 60 Minutes interview editing? I mean, is it going around? Is it a thing or not?
The Trump campaign is demanding they release the entire minutes of it.
Yeah, I know, and so are we. But the problem is, that doesn't mean that they're going to do it. I mean, they're demanding it, but until CBS even acknowledges that there was a difference in the two answers.
It's in our face now because they know half the country and all their listeners believe every syllable they utter, and it doesn't matter if they're lying to their face. In fact, the listeners don't care if they're lying to their face because they want to believe it.
And they're happy. They're probably happy that they got him. I mean, that's exactly the case. Oh, Lord. 14 minutes after 4 o'clock. Kimber, Pete, and Flounder. Happy hump day, baby. What's going on? Here we go.
Time for the Bortz Report, brought to you by Southern Exteriors, the Southeast premier home exterior solution. Quality and precision you can rely on for over 20 years. Visit southernexteriors.co.
Conspiracy theories. Hey, I'm no stranger to conspiracy theories. I'm the guy on the radio that said dolphins had swum up the torpedo tubes of a nuclear submarine and they were going to nuke Los Angeles. But I followed that radio show with 2 words, April Fools. But the conspiracy theories today are just ridiculous. Who are the idiots that buy into these things? First and foremost, the earth is flat. No, seriously. If you're on Facebook, look up some of the flat earth Facebook pages. The earth is flat. It's surrounded by a wall of ice and covered by a dome. The sun is only 4,000 miles away. How do they know this? It's all in the Bible. The firmament in the Bible is actually that glass dome over the flat earth. We call them flurfs. Here's a new one. That teacher from New England that died in the Challenger disaster, she's not dead. She's now a professor in a law school up there in New England. The whole Challenger thing was faked. How do we know? Because the earth is flat. That's how we know. Those condensation trails that jet airliners leave, those are chemtrails. They're chemicals that the government is putting in the air to poison us and control us. There was never a moon landing. It was faked. All of the pictures of Earth taken from space, they're fake. Try this one. Birds aren't real. They're actually small drones being operated by the government to keep an eye on us. No, not kidding. The trouble with these things is that people actually believe them. And if they will believe those, they'll believe slanderous lies like Alex Jones and school shootings. And 9/11 was an inside job. Come on, folks, do some homework. Don't let idiots with internet connections steer you into this insanity. Neil Bortz, XTRA 106.3.
Hey, it's Megan Poole with Southern Exteriors, and it's fall, y'all, and those leaves are starting to drop. Now it's time to get your home ready with Southern Exteriors. Whether it's cleaning out your gutters, adding gutter covers, or both, Southern Exteriors has got you covered. Plus, with any gutter cleaning job, you'll get a free roof inspection, so don't wait. Call Southern Exteriors today at 877-9-SOUTHERN or visit southernexteriors.co. Southern Exteriors, quality and precision you can rely on.
There are crazies on the road. Who knows where they're all going, but if one of them hits you, don't take care of it on your own. Call my friend David Van Sant. He is the lawyer that used to work for the insurance company. The team at Van Sant Law knows who to call, what to say, and will make sure you get what you deserve and what the insurance company doesn't want to pay for. They have your best interest at heart and will take care of everything. If you don't get paid, they don't get paid. My advice, save Van Sant Law in your phone. Today, 855-GA-INJURY, vansantlaw.com.
Here we go. The Stones. 1981 North American tour. The Stones played the first of 2 nights of the L.A. Memorial Coliseum. Support act was Prince, who dressed in his controversial bikini briefs and trench coat, ran off stage after 15 minutes due to the crowd booing and throwing beer cans at Prince. Oh, my God. Well, I can imagine. Really, Prince and the Rolling Stones. I'm not sure I would have put those two acts together, but I don't know. Well, and this was, again, 1981. That was 43 years ago. I don't know whether that...
Nobody really knew who Prince was then. That's the problem.
Yeah, obviously. And on this day, birthday, Scott, is it Bakula or Bakula? Scott Bakula, the actor? Yeah. Special Agent Pride on NCIS. Know him more probably Quantum Leap and Star Trek Enterprise, one of the original ones there. Scott Bakula is 70 years old today. And on this day in history... In 1940, the German Luftwaffe begins a horrendous bombing blitz nighttime raid on London. One direct hit struck St. Paul's Cathedral, a masterpiece by an architect named Sir Christopher Wren. It took a direct hit, St. Paul's Cathedral, but somehow the dome was unharmed. The Luftwaffe direct blitz. 420, come repeat and Flounder. 404-741-1230. 741-1230. Flounder's Funny's coming up. Also, more. Oh, Carmela's got a new accent. Stand by. But first, hey, we got all these memes. We got tweets. We got Pete Davis sitting over there. So we all put it together. A little something we like to call Pete's Tweets.
Well, we almost had a personal interest story coming on with Hurricane Milton.
Oh, no.
Story for the ages.
Oh, really?
A man calling himself Lieutenant Dan down in Tampa was interviewed about riding out the storm. Lieutenant Dan said God told him to buy a sailboat and get on it in Tampa Bay. Kind of a Moses thing here going, all right?
Yeah.
Lieutenant Dan said as the water rises, he and his boat will rise with it. Lieutenant Dan said he won't wear a life jacket because he can float real good, and he can't swim very well, though he has one leg. So he just swims in circles, he said, but he says he can float. Lieutenant Dan also said he had room on his boat for one more woman, not saying how many women he already had there, likely tied up in the hole. One man tweeted, if this dude makes it out of the hurricane alive, he should officially be crowned the king of all Florida men. Frankly, it sounds like God has arranged a meeting with Lieutenant Dan pretty soon here in the next 24 hours. But now comes word that the authorities have rescued him and led him away to a shelter. I had just placed my bet on how soon or if they'd find the body.
I saw a video of this guy being interviewed, and he looked like a homeless bum. Yeah, just a psychopath. He says, I'm going to ride it out in my little boat here. Okay.
He bought a sailboat, so he wasn't, not a bum.
No.
The man had the money for a sailboat.
Yeah, he's just weird.
The Babylon Bee headline reads, FEMA warns they don't have the resources to block humanitarian aid for the next hurricane. Mario tweets that a watchdog group uncovered $7 billion in untapped FEMA funds despite Alejandro Mayorkas claiming there was no money left, which prompted Elon Musk to tweet, Maybe Mayorkas could take a break from shoe shopping to look into this. Do you know about this?
Yeah, they caught him coming out of a luxury store on a shopping trip with some sort of $800 cashmere sweater or something.
Yeah, he's shopping for Cole Haans and all those fancy shoes. While people, have no shoes, have no house in North Carolina.
No clothes.
And this sumbitch is out there shopping for luxury shoes.
It sure looked bad.
You know what the problem is? There's no accountability for Afghanistan, for the economy, for any of these screw-ups, for the train wreck up in Ohio. Nobody gets fired. Nobody gets demoted. Nothing ever happens to these people. The federal government is your complete enemy, your mortal enemy now for North Carolinians. And I'm telling you right now, it's so out of control, and they don't care.
No?
This guy goes luxury shoe shopping while people are dying in North Carolina. And he's the head of FEMA. This idiot is the head of the Secret Service, the border, and FEMA. He screwed up all three. And he knows nothing's going to happen to him. Even the Republicans, the pussies that they are, refused to impeach him.
Yeah. Didn't even work. Hard to believe.
Just my opinion. Dr. Kevin Bass wants to remind you that just a year and a half ago, 30% of all Democrats believe that children should be taken away from unvaccinated parents. Nearly 50% of Democrats believe the unvaccinated should be sent to camps.
That's God, that's right. Yeah. It wasn't that long ago.
Don't let these people off the hook. This is an election. Get rid of everybody that screwed up your life and your kids' life.
Right.
Hold them accountable. That's the only way you can do it.
Yeah. And don't forget, False Walsh, the Tampon Tim, made a snitch line so people could tell tattletale stuff, call the authorities if their neighbors were outside without a mask on. And you heard the audio of them actually calling in to report their neighbors. That's what they do in Minnesota, the liberal leftist state.
Mark tweets, you don't get to pick the day you need a gun. Someone else will pick that day, and they will only tell you at the very last second.
Yeah, wow.
First guy at the bar says to the second guy, why do you have 5 motorcycles? Second guy, because I sold 2 last week. And George Fish of the AJC wrote this about motorcycles.
Yeah.
A motorcycle is a bicycle with a pandemonium attachment and is designed for the special use of mechanical geniuses, daredevils, and lunatics. George Fitch wrote that in 1916.
Holy God. Well, he's still right.
A pandemonium attachment.
And you better have a great mechanic. And absolutely. Hell, I still have my chopper sitting in my garage, a $72,000 hood ornament. It's got a broken motor.
Looking, too.
It's a beautiful chopper, but it's not any good. It can't run. I need a new engine on it, but I can't.
Anybody that happens to wander into your garage gets a really nice look at it.
That's right. If they can, probably weighs 700 pounds. If they try to sneak off with it, it might be a little difficult. Thank you, Pete's tweets. 425 404 741 1230. Oh, Flounder, let's do this. Flounder found another soundbite from last night on Stephen Colbert. And again, we'll play all those 3 sound bites here, Flounder, but let's do the first one. This is kind of weird. Cut number 5. Flounder came across this last night. I didn't see the show. I don't watch Stephen Colbert. But Vice President Sidepiece was making the rounds yesterday on all her liberal friends' shows, and we're going to talk about the fact that she got the same question twice and blew both answers. But first of all, when she was on with Stephen Colbert, he made a thing of saying, well, you look like the kind of person, people want to know whether you're the kind of person you'd like to have a beer with. So will you have a beer with me, Vice President? And she says, oh, sure. So they brought out the beer, which was, obviously he checked in advance, so it obviously wasn't live. And so they had the little thing there. And then apparently Flounder pointed out that it looks like our Jamindican Vice President has suddenly accepted another foreign accent, if you will. Number 5.
Have empathy, man. For the suffering of other people.
What? I played that again. Listen to the first part.
Have empathy, man.
Oh, you know.
For the suffering of other people. Have no sense of purpose.
Have man. Oh, my God.
Wait a minute. I got it right here.
Yeah. Ding dang with a Jamaican tin drum, baby.
Steel drum, baby.
Oh, my God. What a freaking goof. 426. All right, now let's do the other soundbite. I mean, this is if you haven't heard it, 2 things. Yesterday she was on The View. Vice President Shiftless and Lazy was on The View, and you're going to hear the simplest question in the world. This will be cut number number one in The View here. Come in a second. She was asked a very simple question by her friends at The View, and she blew the answer. Here's cut number one, if you would, Flounder.
Well, if anything, would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
Nothing that comes to mind, and I've been part of the decisions that have impact. There you go. I mean, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Holy crap, Donald Trump's people have got to be going nuts. You know this is going to be, they could just play that soundbite over and over and over for 60 seconds and call it a commercial. Holy moly. Okay, so here's the point. That was on The View early in the day. Later in the day, she was taping the interview with Stephen Colbert. So her people obviously freaked out when they heard her give that answer on The View and said, oh my God, you're a freaking idiot. So they had to go to Stephen Colbert to make him ask basically the same question so that she could correct herself, which made a lot of sense. Who wouldn't do that? Everybody would say, oh my God, make sure he asks the question so she can give the good answer. Here's how the word salad came out the second time.
What would the major changes be, and what would stay the same?
Sure. Well, I mean, I'm obviously not Joe Biden.
I know.
And so that would be one change in terms of, but also I think it's important to say with, 28 days to go, I'm not Donald Trump.
She went on to say, again, he asked, what would you have done differently? She said, well, I'm not Joe Biden and I'm not Donald Trump. And then this was her answer and explanation. She said, the significance of what this next generation of leadership looks like, were I to be elected president, it is about, frankly, I love the American people. And I believe in our country. I love that it is our character and nature to be an ambitious people. We have aspirations, we have dreams, we have incredible work ethic, and I just believe that we can create and build upon the success we've achieved in a way that we continue to grow opportunity and in that way grow the strength of our nation. Do you have any idea what I just said to you other than we all want to be better and have wonderful goodness? That's her explanation of what she would have done differently in the last 4 years and how she would do something differently in the next 4. That's her answer? She blew the question twice. Oh, my God. How dumb can you be? I mean, seriously, is there... I just can't believe it.
Usually it has to be a guy named Willie in the room for her to do that twice.
It's unbelievable. Good point. May have to go back and rewind the question. It's coming up on 4:30. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. And also coming up, the songs to die with. More of that. And Garth Brooks is fighting back and naming the woman who claims he raped her. Wow. We got a lot coming up and a whole bunch of more things. Barron Trump can't get a bank account because they're after Trump in every way they can be. Coming up, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Look out. The legend Neil Bortz is only on XTRA 106.3. Hey, it's a Kimmer. How's it going? Here's what you missed from the Talkmaster.
So you think the old Talkmaster's a pretty good guy, huh? No, not the way I've been thinking lately. I am so proud of the Israelis for their recent assaults on these Muslim goons who are dedicated to their eradication. Many years ago, perhaps even before you were born, the Israelis set up a little iPhone repair shop in the Gaza Strip. They waited until some Hamas leader came by to get his iPhone fixed. They fixed it. It worked just fine. Oh, yeah, but it had a little explosive device hidden in it. So after Mr. Hamas hotshot came by to get his phone, when he left, they called him. Hello? Boom. Now they've really upped their game.
Catch Neil's commentary every day on XTRA 106.3 or listen anytime on the XTRA 106.3 app.
Intelligent technology that's more intuitive. Electrified power wrapped in sporty elegance. Meet the 2024 Mercedes-Benz C300 sedan. The leader of the pack with a sensual interior, the C300 sedan is a driver's delight and paradise for passengers. Experience the 2024 C300 sedan today. Lease one today for just $509 per month for 36 months with $4203 due at signing. Exclusively from RBM of Atlanta in Sandy Springs. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details on this vehicle and many other models. And visit today to see how to qualify. We'd love to welcome you to the RBM of Atlanta family. Special lease rate available only to qualified customers exclusively from Mercedes-Benz Financial Service through RBM of Atlanta Sandy Springs through October 31st, 2024. Excludes tax, tag, title, and Georgia Lemon Law fees. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details on this and other exciting offers. Visit rbmofatlanta.com or call us at 770-390-0700 for details.
Are you planning for your big day? Are you picking out the venue, the cake, the menu, the dress, the tux? And you can't forget about those wedding bands. Well, you're in luck because Wedding Band Weekend is back at Solomon Brothers Jewelers. October 25th through the 27th is the best time to save big on those wedding bands that you'll say I do with. During Wedding Band Weekend at Solomon Brothers Jewelers, when you buy her band, you get his for free. And to make your purchase even easier, we're offering 60 months interest-free financing on all of the top wedding band designers in the industry. That's 5 years to not worry about paying for those beautiful rings that symbolize your commitment. And remember, no matter the price, you'll find something nice. So come visit us October 25th through the 27th to shop for your wedding bands in Buckhead on Peachtree Road, Alpharetta Old Milton Parkway, and Sharpsburg on Highway 34 and Fisher Road, or online at SolomonBrothers.com.
At the Piedmont Bank, we're proud to be one of Georgia's largest community banks, focusing on serving businesses and the communities they serve. With headquarters right here in Metro Atlanta, our tailored banking expertise and solutions help meet the diverse needs of our customers so they have what it takes to grow, expand, and thrive. It's what elevates us above the rest. Find a location near you at Piedmont.bank and experience elevated banking for you and your business. The Piedmont Bank. Banking elevated. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
Get ready for Real Talk on the Janelle King Show, where we tackle kitchen table topics that are banned from family gatherings, but crucial for a strong republic. Tune in every Saturday at 3 p.m. and every Sunday for an encore episode at 9 a.m. And if you can catch us live, great. But if not, no worries. New podcasts drop every Tuesday on the Podcast Park right here on XTRA 106.3 or wherever you get your podcasts. Join us for insightful conversations that matter.
You know the old expression, I love it when a plan comes together? Well, with our First Liberty Notes, this has been so true. Hello, I'm Brant Frost, founder of First Liberty Building and Loan. You hear about our family's company all the time right here on this station. For over 30 years, we've been the local lender who said yes when the big banks say no. A couple of months ago, we opened up our First Liberty Notes program to Main Street investors just like you, and the response has been just incredible. Folks from airline pilots to physicians to even pastors are now earning 8 to 13% interest rates while helping to fuel the growth of local small businesses. If you're a qualified investor with a minimum of $25,000, you too could be earning 8 to 13% interest. We'd love to have you join our First Liberty family today. Go to FirstLibertyGA.com and see if our First Liberty Notes are right for you. Go to FirstLibertyGA.com. That's FirstLibertyGA.com.
First Liberty Notes are not obligations of or guaranteed by any financial institution and are not secured by any collateral. They are not FDIC insured or guaranteed by any government agency. You could lose money. SEC accredited investor status must be verified. Securities not offered in any jurisdiction. Mutual is unlawful.
435. How you doing, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder on 106.3 with Dr. Feelgood from 1976. Now, I've heard the phrase Dr. Feelgood, of which is what, the guy who gives you your drugs, or I guess that's where it kind of came from. But I don't know anything about this band. They're a British group. 1976 says here that Dr. Feelgood scored their first only #1 album when Stupidity went to the top of the charts. The Stupidity, there you go. It was the first ever live album to go to #1 in Britain in the first week it was released. Wow. Doesn't sound like a #1 hot hit song to me. A group, anyway, whatever. Phone calls take priority. 436. Pramia is on the phone with us with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Hello, Pramia. How you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
We're very well today. Now, Flounder tells me that you are a legal immigrant who came to this country the right way, and it's a pleasure to have you on board. What do you think? What we'd like to talk to you about today?
Yes, thank you for this opportunity. We are the big fan of your show. We listen every day.
Oh, thank you.
And yes, I came as a student, and for us to get to a green card, it's a very long process. We pay tax, we apply for visa, we do everything we can. But for us, it's like more than 10 years just to wait after applying for visa. But Kamala Harris and the Biden administration always say that illegals pass to citizenship within 5 years, and they give so much to illegal. And I think we who came as a legal and paid on everything, on taxes, we are left behind. Nobody talks about us. I think we are forgotten in this election time also, in other times also. Our waiting period is so long.
Yeah.
And this administration doesn't do anything. My visa process was very fast when Trump was on the administration in 2020. It was very fast, but now I'm waiting on my another paperwork. It is taking forever to come.
So now, for people who maybe not under Donald Trump, your visa process was very fast, was done very quickly. But under Biden, all of a sudden it's been delayed, and the paperwork is more of a problem. Did I understand you correctly?
Yes.
Wow. And now, so how do you feel, and you, as you talk to your friends and family and so forth, about the basically an open border, and all these people by the millions have come in and have been giving stuff at the border as soon as they come across, and apparently are on a pathway, if the Democrats have their way, on a pathway to citizenship much easier than you did. Is that fair?
Yeah. No, it's not. I know so many people who have gotten green card who came illegally, and that breaks my heart. I feel like that's not the America I came for. I thought this was the country for rule, law. That was the dream I saw. Here I will be treated fair, not in like a third world country, but here I have to struggle every day. I struggle to pay rent, but illegals are getting so much, and I pay tax like everyone. Yeah. My tax money is also going there, and all the money going to war. Everything comes from us. We cannot vote, but I try to tell my friends, do your research, listen to you guys. I always suggest that to your show and everything. Yeah. Thank you guys for telling the truth. And
well, honestly, I think, I think we all are in the same position, knowing that it's just not fair for people like you who have done the right thing and suffered the consequences of waiting in line and filling out paperwork and being disrespected and going through years of a process. And all of a sudden, because of politics, millions of people who are not, you came here for the obvious reasons. When the legal citizens to come here, it's because they have something to offer, and they're after a better life, and they're going to make America a better place to be, because we're all immigrants in one sense or another. But all of a sudden, there are people who are undocumented, unvaccinated. They don't know their backgrounds. They're criminals. They're emptying out the insane asylums and the jails. I mean, this is totally offensive for all of us who agree with you that it's just wrong. It's un-American. It's unpatriotic, and it's wrong for all of you who did the right thing.
Yes. And, for some of the Indian Chinese people, the wait period goes up to 80 years. That is so unfair. I'm illegal immigrants every day, you see, and we see in TV and this administration talking about that all the time, pathway to citizenship. Yeah. It breaks our heart.
Yeah, I know. Listen, and Pramila, did I pronounce that correctly? Pramila?
Yes. Pramila. Yes.
Pramila. Well, and may I ask where you came from? What was your original country?
I came from Nepal as a student.
I'm sorry.
I did my master. Yes. Nepal.
Nepal. Oh, Nepal. I'm sorry. My ears are bad. Well, that's fantastic. Well, listen, I really appreciate your calling. Thank you for your kind words. I'm glad you're listening. And please check in anytime you want, and all your friends, too. Honestly, we need to make sure these things are in public, because we can't let these Democrats get away with it. They're ruining our country, and it's not fair to you, and it's not fair to the rest of us.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day. Thank you so much. Pramila. 441, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Seriously, I mean, think about it. Can you imagine if Swatoon has talked about this before, another legal guy who came in here and, the kind of person we want to come into this country. And I mean, it must be offensive every single day that they get up and hear the news or look at a newspaper or something about the story of all these illegal immigrants getting all this stuff and all this money, and knowing that they're still, putting up with abuse.
And their relatives and friends are still stuck overseas because they didn't born the genetic lottery of being born next door and walk across. I don't know how anybody who came here legally votes Democrat.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't know how any immigrant would vote for a Democrat Party. I don't know how any Jewish voter would vote for a Democrat. But again, that's
And you know what? If you're an illegal and you're not a criminal, a murderer, rapist, like tens of thousands of them are, if you do want a better life and you do come here and do make you a citizen, you got to at some point look around and go, okay, that's great. The Democrats let me in, but they stand against everything. They're for everything that I hate.
Yeah.
They're not pro-family. They're not pro-Hispanic. They're not any of that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, look at their goals. I mean, look at their platforms. Abortion anytime for any reason up to birth.
Most Hispanics don't believe in that.
Of course not.
They're conservative.
They're God-fearing.
They're family values.
Exactly. My God, Lord. Gender changing for a 9-year-old or a 13-year-old girl or boy or something. Who ever heard of having their? I'll bet all these illegal. I'll bet the legal immigrants with families, those basic old-fashioned family values people, must have their heads spinning when they know that currently in America, most places it's okay for a boy to be on the girls' teams in school sports and actually use their locker rooms. It's just, I can't imagine any of them have ever thought that was something they would ever have to put up with.
Look what's happening in Michigan. The Muslims aren't putting up with it.
Yeah, that's all right. Finally. And again, it had to be the Muslims standing up for it, which is fine, which is good, as they should. Anyway, 4:43.
Real quick, we got John on the line. He wanted to chime in on this.
John, you're on the radio. Thanks for calling, sir. What do you think? What's up? Hello, John.
Oh, sorry, is it Vernon?
Oh, I'm sorry, Vernon, maybe. Hey, Vernon?
This is Vernon. I don't know if y'all actually heard all of the interview last night, because she said that her administration is going to be focused on answering the problems of the American people. And in that light, on day one, she is going to order from Amazon 1 chicken. And then she's going to order 1 egg. And so in her first 100 days, she'll be able to report back which came first.
Thank you. See which got there for a minute. Thank you so much. 4:44, Kimber, Pete, and Flounder. John O'Hurley's birthday, 70 years old. Jay Peterman on Seinfeld. He was on first season of Dancing with the Stars and lost. He got whooped in a rematch based on viewers. Anyway, John O'Hurley, 70 years old today. 404-741-1230. Barron Trump can't get a bank account, and his mom, the former First Lady, says it's all because of Trump hatred. Melania says she's got her new book out called I'm Melania or something like that. And she had a new book out. I don't. It's not written down here. I can't find it.
Buy my book, damn it.
Steal this book. Who is it? Abby Hoffman wrote a book. The title was Steal This Book.
Yeah. No. Was it Jerry Rubin of the Yippies?
Oh, maybe that was it. Yeah. It was one of them. Anyway, it's got 4:45. Okay, Flounder's Funny's coming up too, and Pete's Tweet. We do Pete's Tweets. All right, sorry. We'll do some more. I don't know. Give her Pete and Flounder on your hump day, Wednesday. Look out. It's a Kimber. We've got your afternoons covered, all right, and the Morning Extra's got your drive-in from 6 to 10 a.m., too.
When you see those soldiers standing there in driving rain, they're told to leave their post, and they're like, I will not, because I have so much reverence for the people that this tomb represents. And then you have Democrats who don't even show up. Until you show up, shut up.
The Morning Extra, 6 to 10 a.m. on XTRA 106.3 FM and the XTRA app.
A musician with technical knowledge can play all the right notes. But one who cares enough to play from the heart gives music soul. At Truist, we believe the same is true for banking. Because when you work with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Start feeling unstoppable. Visit Truist.com/care. Truist Bank, member FDIC, leading based on top 10 U.S. commercial bank.
Doug Moore is a health insurance broker at yourchoicehealthplan.net. He believes your health insurance premiums should not look like a mortgage payment. You don't have to overpay for health insurance. He sells private insurance with no deductibles and no rate increases. These plans are typically 30 to 60% less than what you're paying and don't need to change doctors. He customizes all plans to meet your budget. Don't fret. Go to yourchoicehealthplan.net. He can save you big money. Call Doug Moore at 770-697-0100. That's 770-697-0100. Don't fret. Go to yourchoicehealthplan.net. If your payment is too high, you're on COBRA, or your work coverage is too expensive, call Doug, 770-697-0100. You don't have to have government marketplace insurance that's crazy expensive. Don't fret. Go to yourchoicehealthplan.net and request a quote. Call 770-697-0100 and let Doug design a plan for you, not by big government.
Are you looking for something simple but delicious, sweet but also savory? Discover Schumann Farms Sweet Onions. Schumann Farms is a third-generation family farm with the Real Sweet brand and Mr. Buck's brand sweet onions. Each brand brings savory, sweet deliciousness to every meal. Whether you're grilling, sautéing, or simply adding a fresh crunch to your salad, Schumann Farms has you covered. Look for Schumann Farms Real Sweet brand and your Mr. Buck's brand sweet onions at your grocery store and taste the difference for yourself. Schumann Farms, the Georgia family farm growing tradition and the world's sweetest onions.
Oh man, look at my backyard. Looks like a tornado met a hurricane in a desert. I'm going to tell her to turf off. Or maybe you'd rather turf on with ATL Turf Co., the Southeast's leading turf installer. Whether you'd like a new football field, putting green, or have us create the perfect maintenance-free backyard of your dreams, find ATLTurfCo.com. Make your yard great again. Visit ATLTurfCo.com and see what we've created for customers like you in the Southeast. ATLTurfCo.com. And no more yard cackling.
Jason Albritton here from Southern Exteriors. This holiday season, we're doing something truly special with our Home for the Holidays roof giveaway. Until November 30th, you have the chance to nominate a deserving family in need of a brand new roof just in time for the holidays. Imagine the comfort of knowing a family will enter the holiday season in a safe, secure home. It's more than just a roof. It's a peace of mind and a place to make cherished memories. Let's come together and make a difference. The winner will be announced on December 4th. To learn more, submit your nomination. Visit southernexteriors.co. Southern Exteriors, where home means more.
Tune into your new favorite show that's redefining the A to Z's of marketing, The Marketing Mad Men. We'll take you behind the scenes of successful campaigns and reveal the strategies that win. We're not just talking about marketing, we're making it happen. From viral content creation to leveraging AI for customer engagement, our experts bring you to the cutting edge of industry. This is your playbook for market dominance. Tune in and transform your approach with actionable tips that could skyrocket your ROI. The Marketing Mad Men every Saturday at 4 p.m. right here on XTRA 106.3.
Here we go.
I am an anti-coaster.
Yeah.
I am an anarchoaster.
Anarchist.
Don't know what I want, but I know how to get it. I want to destroy Boston Bikers.
Yeah. It was the first love song by the Sex Pistols in 1976. The Sex Pistols signed to EMI Records for $68,000. 3 months later, the contract was terminated. The label shopping production of the Anarchy in the UK single got deleted from the catalog 3 months later. EMI issued a statement saying it felt unable to promote the Sex Pistols records in view of the adverse publicity generated over the 3 months that people started listening to them. So anyway, didn't turn on too good there. Our birthday list includes Tony Shalhoub. Tony Shalhoub, the actor. And yes, we'll talk about one of my most embarrassing moments in broadcasting ever. Tony Shalhoub is 71. No matter how many Emmys he's won for Monk, they say here he'll always be Antonio on Wings and the hilarious Star Trek spoof Galaxy Quest. Tony Shalhoub is 71, and his sister.
He was Mr. Maisel in The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and he was amazing in it.
I didn't see that. I don't know any of those. And his sister, at least was, I don't know if she still lives, was a resident of, I did my papers again. And there they go. Of Alpharetta or someplace, and she called into our radio show one day. God, it had to be in the mid-'90s or late '90s. I don't even remember.
No, it was 10 years ago.
Oh, was it? Well, it had to be. Was it during my comeback after 2013?
Yeah. Yeah, it was about 2013, 2014.
I thought it was old. Anyway, so his sister, Tony Shalhoub's sister, called into the show, and she just said, I'm his sister, and I just wanted to. And I went stupid. I said, oh my God, I can't believe it. And I started acting like a 7-year-old who saw Superman in his costume or something. I mean, it was just, I was talking, I can't believe it.
Begging.
I said, yeah, do you think you'd get me on one of his shows? I mean, get me as being an extra on one of his TV shows. I wouldn't even have to do anything. I just walk around. I was
stand in the back with holding a cup of coffee.
Oh my God!
I do anything, please.
It's horrible.
Can you? Can you call your brother? Can you talk to your brother for me?
The poor thing
and
was
we all just stood there
so sweet
with our mouths open.
She didn't hang up on me or anything. It was beautiful, and she was just so sweet.
And she never
called back. No, I'm fairly sure that she never will either. Anyway, what an idiot. I'm not good. What can I tell you? Another one of the many reasons why they'll never put me in the Hall of Fame, of anybody's Hall of Fame. Oh, one or two I could think of, but that's a whole different story. 404-741-1230, 452. Flounders Funny's coming up here in a second. Barron Trump couldn't get a bank account. His mom, the former First Lady Melania, says it's because of the cancel mob. In her new book that's out, the former First Lady says Barron, who's now 18 years old, was told that he could not open a checking account at her bank after they left the White House in early 2021. She wrote, I was shocked and dismayed to learn that my longtime bank decided to terminate my account and deny my son the opportunity to open a new one. The decision rooted in political discrimination, raising serious concerns about civil rights violations. She didn't name the bank. She said it was a troubling snub, part of a venom of cancel culture the family experienced after the January 6th so-called insurrection after her husband's election loss. Her new book is now out. She said the filters down even to stop her from carrying out charity work. Everybody's snubbing her. The cancel mob now includes corporations, traditional media, influential social media figures, and cultural institutions. This disheartening trend reflects the current socio-political landscape in the United States. The cancellation continues. Wow.
You get the feeling if Trump wins again, she's not going to be the quiet, meek mouse in the background this time. She's going to call out these magazines. She's going to call out this media.
Boy, I would love to see it. And again, I've always, I think we've all had impressions of first ladies over the years. I always thought Nancy Reagan was kind of snooty and aloof and really wasn't very warm and friendly. Hillary, we all know about that kind of stuff. But Melania was always, they snubbed her from the beginning. They never put her on any of the cover of any of those glamour magazines, which they would have done with any other first lady who was beautiful like that. And you know the story. So clearly, and also, she still has an accent. She's from a foreign country. She speaks 5 or 6 languages. She's a businesswoman, everything else. She doesn't want to be, the woman in charge of decorations along I-85 or something, the flower girl like Lyndon Baines Johnson was or whatever. So, I mean, she never wanted to be first lady. She never wanted politics as a life. And I hope this time, I hope you're right, Pete. I hope that because she's, she's a smart, brilliant woman, and we don't really know much about her. We've never really seen her in action. Over the years that she was in office. So maybe we will. I hope so. 455. 404-741-1230. Flounder, anytime you want. Do a little things for Nucky's Hoagies.
Real quick, we got Robert on the line. He can confirm another helicopter scenario, another Black Hawk.
Oh, my God. Robert, welcome. What you got for us, sir? I can't believe it. What's up?
Yes, sir. 2 government helicopters, one a Chinook, one a unmarked Black Hawk. Have overflown and blown away private supplies trying to get to the people out in North Carolina. But there's 2 different episodes. One of them, a Chinook, apparently National Guard. One is a unregistered, possibly FEMA, possibly DHS Black Hawk.
Well, and now have you seen? Somebody told you this, or have you seen this, or what happened? Are you talking about the case for the other day, or are you talking about something new?
It's new.
The new one.
Another one.
Yeah, there is something new, but there are videos of the Black Hawk. So I understand there are not videos of the Chinook. However, the National Guard Chinook was so serious that the National Guard has suspended the 2 pilots who overflew and blew away the supplies.
Oh my God! Do you know where this? Do you know where this was offhand or in the area?
Inside the Hurricane Helene disaster area, in the staging area. So in both cases, they were hovering, within rotor width of the within downwash distance of the staging sites. So you see, it's not just that the FAA is stopping private helicopter flights by demanding transponders and reducers, but the flight planning, the VFR flight planning is being denied by the FAA. The helicopter overflights and such are being restricted, and now these landing site harassments are occurring more than once in more than one area.
This is outrageous. This is, and by the way, someone did notice on the video of the Black Hawk, apparently there were two guys, I guess it takes two guys to fly it, and both of them were apparently seen wearing official military-type helmets. So, as though this was like an official, secreted, identification blacked out kind of a deal.
Right. No Chinook, no Black Hawk are commercial helicopters.
Right.
I mean, the circumstances mean they are government work.
Right.
Fortunately, the National Guard did respond to the reports and has begun discipline proceedings, against the pilots.
Man.
So at least somebody in that chain of command is acknowledging responsibility for what the choppers are doing.
Absolutely, and of course, everybody knows that those pilots know that. I think the ceiling is at least 500 feet above an area where the chopper wash is going to affect things, and they were clearly way in, below that. So they're doing it on purpose. It wasn't like they didn't know what was going to happen if they got 40 feet off the ground or something. I mean, what a bunch of crap.
No, I've rappelled out of the back of Chinooks, and it is real sobering when you're in midair going down, getting blown around by the back rotor. So they know it is. Well, I would say if they didn't know, they are too incompetent to fly.
Yeah, no question. No question. God, thank you for your service. Thank you for your update. And again, anything you hear any more, please give us a call. We need to get this out to the public. They have to know what's going on here. This is outrageous. Thank you. Oh, my God. Coming up on 5 o'clock. Holy smoke. Well, we got a few minutes here for a second here. No, actually, I'm sorry. I haven't looked at the clock. It's almost 5 o'clock. We're good. Coming up, we got so many more wonderful things, including Flounders Funnies. I owe you one. So we'll make up for it.
It's your first show.
That's right. I'm just not you. I've never been on the radio before.
Get the nerves out.
Well, I just got out of school, All right, look out. I got to go. You're killing me.
WFOM and W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. This hour is presented by Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watches.
Just hours from landfall. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Hurricane Milton heading for the west central coast of Florida right now, packing 120-mile-per-hour winds, a Category 3 storm.
Wind picking up here right now. I'm starting to see a sign off to my right. I'm wondering if it's going to go flying.
Fox's Steve Harrigan in Tampa, which hasn't had a direct hit from a major storm in more than a century and could get double the 7-foot storm surge it just had from Helene. Milton is expected to make landfall south of Tampa tonight.
It really is already being felt from the west coast all the way to the east coast, and almost unbelievably a tornado outbreak here today.
Fox meteorologist Adam Klotz, the storm spawning multiple tornadoes and already knocking out power to more than 70,000. President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris getting a multi-agency storm briefing earlier today at the White House.
This hurricane poses an extreme danger, and we urge everyone in Florida to take extreme caution. And we are with you and we will get through this together.
The president also again defending the federal response to Hurricane Helene.
For the last few weeks, there's been a reckless, irresponsible, and relentless promotion of disinformation and outright lies that are disturbing people.
President Biden says former President Trump is leading disinformation, including claims that property is being confiscated.
It's undermining confidence in the incredible rescue and recovery work that has already been taken and will continue to be taken.
Trump says the response has been mismanaged. He's holding 2 rallies today in Pennsylvania.
Everybody get to the polls so we get these horrible politicians out of there. We want to get rid of them.
The first rally in Scranton, President Biden's childhood hometown. The White House says the president had a productive and frank call with Israel's prime minister today as Israel continues to weigh a response to Iran's missile attack last week. America is listening to Fox News.
Hear that? The relaxing sound of ambient music in a yoga class. And if you were here, you'd listen to 15 people taking a deep breath in sync. But you're not here. Because your self-care happens out on the road, riding your motorcycle protected by Progressive. So if you ride, get a quote today and see if you could save with Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer. And find inner peace with a different pose called Palms on Handlebars. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated in the best hearing aids of 2024 by USA Today, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, just $189.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 500,000 happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Let's get it together, ladies. Left shoulder, right a flank. Ready on your dog, target. Help, hair, hot, help, hair. First one to the rear. Hair, help, hair, road guards, out. Hair, help, hair, help. The banter flying, and it's only me. It's on the camera with Pete Davis and Flounder at the controls. 5:04 almost on 106.3. How's it going? Here's the number: 404-741-1230, 741-1230. Again, just in the news just now. I mean, I can't. I guess they have to do it. But what in the world? Why in the world would a newscast want to bother putting a comment by Carmela's side piece urging the Floridians to get out of the way of the storm? I mean, she's running for office. It's a political campaign. Why would they? That's not news. That she says, well, those people really need to get out of there and we're going to go through this together. It's just, it's just gratuitous for her benefit. And then they have President Joe wash her daughter with 2 different sound bites blasting Donald Trump and Republicans for claiming that there are bad things happening because of FEMA, and then blaming the Republicans and Donald Trump for causing people distress and dismay, and that they may not even be wanting to use the services, and blaming Republicans for it.
They can lie all about it, but I'm up here just a few miles away from it. I'm hearing people that go up there and are bringing them stuff. The federal government has completely dropped the ball on this, and if it wasn't for Samaritan's Purse and the local churches up there, there'd be a lot more dead people basically starving. They found a bunch of people holed up in a church after 6 days that hadn't eaten for 6 days. I mean, that wasn't the federal government that was saving them.
I heard, I got a text from a friend of mine whose name will go unmentioned for a couple, it doesn't matter really, but a friend of mine who said that this person has been to Tennessee recently and has talked with a lot of people, been around, and believes there are going to be thousands of dead people. Thousands because of this stuff. Also, just in, FEMA has now reported today that it has less than 10% frontline staff ready to handle the Hurricane Milton coming to Florida tonight. FEMA has less than 10% frontline staff available for deployment amid preparations for the second major hurricane. They have 8% of staff members currently available to get ready for Milton. It's a significant drop from a year ago. The agency had 20% staff available for deployment last year. Now it's 8%. That's the cadre of officers, management corps capacity. They have 22,000 staffers that can tap into. Well, then why aren't you? Oh, my God. They claims the agency spent its money on housing for migrants and blocking private release distributors from entering areas in North Carolina. They have the concerns about it. And again, and you just heard our caller a minute ago says another helicopter business, ruining distribution sites, hovering too low to send all the paperwork and all the stuff flying everywhere, doing it on purpose. And apparently the latest 2 pilots have been caught and are being charged or at least disciplined or investigated, so thank God for that. But again, even FEMA says, with hurricanes' deadly sweep across the South, under pressure to deliver aid to those in need. They have 5,600 people from across the workforce deployed. They say during an interview, should rest confident that FEMA has the resources necessary. No, you don't. You've admitted that you don't. Well, actually, you do, but you don't know how to get them. Anyway, good Lord. And it's coming. By the way, again, we hope to have Neil Bortz joining us tomorrow. Looks like he will be able to call tomorrow, probably very likely. Neil did call this morning. I heard him on the morning show, and he seems fine. They look like they're in pretty good shape. I think where he is in Naples, which is the southern end of where the storm is likely to hit the most. And the latest chart I saw had winds in the Naples area somewhere around 60 miles an hour. The hurricane winds are more like 160 or 150 at this point, I think. Maybe it's even... Well, now it says... And now it's now in Category 3. I'm just looking at Fox News. Category 3, 145 miles an hour or something now.
As Neil has constantly called himself the blowhard of the blab, yeah. He can easily counter 60 miles an hour.
He's got no problem. Right from the house on wheels.
We remember at the other station, he was the pitcher on the softball team, and the team name was Blowhards of Blab.
Yeah.
I got the T-shirt.
Yep, that's for sure. 508, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. 404-741-1230. 741-1230. Holy Crap, it's Sports is coming up. More Flounders Funnies coming up. And a couple of, well, in fact, let's do this again, Flounder. I'm doing this every hour in case you haven't heard this. We will talk more about the hurricane. We'll talk more about politics stuff. And in case you hadn't heard this, if you just joined us, this is really appalling. Even, it wasn't a joke, but even if it were a joke, it would still be appalling. University of Kansas. There is video, and you're about to hear the audio from the video of a University of Kansas instructor. He's not identified, and it says instructor, doesn't say professor, but either way, he's teaching the class. Now, for the record, when I was at graduate school at Michigan State, I also taught a class. I was an instructor on full scholarship because I was a teacher. They gave me a class to teach. So now that may have been, I don't know whether that's this guy's case or not, but again, I'd also been in the Marines and come home, so I was a little older than your average, they didn't give me a class to teach because I was, a 19-year-old freshman in college or something. Anyway, so this University of Kansas instructor, whoever it is, no name given, was talking to his class, and he got into politics, and he said this about conservatives. Cut number 4, Flounder, if you will, sir.
There are going to be some males in our society that will refuse to vote for a potential female president because they don't think females are smart enough to be president. We could line all those guys up and shoot them. They clearly don't understand the way the world works. Did I say that? Scratch that from the recording. I don't want the deans hearing that I said that.
Do you notice the way they clearly don't understand the females are smart enough? Yeah. He was getting worked
off on it.
Yeah.
He was getting off on it.
And the media relations PR spokesperson said the instructor, who was not named, was placed on administrative leave. Quote, the instructor offers his sincerest apologies and deeply regrets the situation. His intent was to emphasize his advocacy for women's rights and equality, and he recognizes he did a very poor job in doing so. The university has an established process for situations like this and will follow that process, which is meaningless. A strongly written letter in his permanent file, probably. And again, he asked why he wasn't fired immediately. How could you have somebody teaching courses on your University of Kansas campus and your university saying those things out loud to a class of students? Yeah, even joking. And he wasn't joking.
Yeah.
He was not joking.
No, he wasn't. People like that put you in camps and then shoot you if you don't vote. And, like we said earlier, he's absolutely right, though. In countries that he would be in charge of, leftist, authoritarian dictatorships, they do line you up and shoot you for not voting the right way.
Yeah, you would definitely be punished or put in a camp or something. You would not be able to be a part of the society if you didn't believe in what they did, like this guy. And again, he's trying to take some kind of high road, saying he wants to show true respect for women by killing people who he thinks don't show respect for women. How could you think you respect women voting for her? If you vote for that woman as president of the United States, you do not respect women. You want something to happen politically, despite the fact that she is. I can't imagine. I can't think of a worse candidate, female, for president of the United States than this woman. After what you've learned about her in the last 4 years, seriously. And he's trying to take the high road of showing praise for women by killing men who don't believe in his praise for the same woman. I mean, just a demented. I mean, where do the synapses in his freaking brain make the connection between those two things? And why wasn't he fired immediately? Immediately. Why wasn't he fired saying, that's it, pack up your crap, it's out, you're gone. Period. Done. It's over. And incidentally, let's remind ourselves, Donald Trump was shot in the face from people like this, and almost shot a second time from people like this, who think that we deserve it. They think Donald Trump deserves it. I guarantee you, if the tape had been longer or somebody asked him a question, I guarantee you he said, boy, it's too bad they didn't get him. And I bet he believes that, it's certainly reasonable that someone would want to kill Trump because he's a danger to our democracy. Once again, it's the danger to democracy. You keep saying it long enough, people will say, gee, we ought to do something about it. And they did. They shot him in the face. Oh, my God. 5:13. Wait, are we doing a little Founders Funnies here?
Yeah, why not?
Nuckies, Hokies. I like it. Get me off the rant and rave. What do you got there, Flo?
No, you know what I like was when you go into these places, right? Even when they're getting your money, that's not enough for them. They want to suck, more information out of you. When I bought toiletries the other day, they asked me for, my phone number. I'm ringing it up. They go, can we have your phone number? No. Well, sir, we're not going to do anything with this. Really? You're just collecting numbers just for the fuck of it, you idiot? No, you can't have my phone number. Then they get all freaked out, right? Well, sir, I have to put something in. If I don't input something in, I can't get to the next. What do I do? Well, lean on the keyboard, sweetheart. Tell you. Stick your finger on the one. There you go. That's my phone number. 15639. That's it. Live in area code 123. Very exclusive neighborhood.
Bill Burr.
One and only.
Classic. 5:14. Holy crap at sports and a lot more coming up here with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. How's your day? Look out.
Politics get heated, but should never become violent. With so many questions about what happens next, trust the conservative voice of Atlanta for the latest news and the voices you need during such an uncertain time in America.
There was a story that broke with the Gold Star families because she basically said Donald Trump was politicizing laying the wreath at Arlington Cemetery, and the Gold Star families have decided they've had enough. There's no way you can walk up to the tomb of the unknown soldier and have anything but reverence for what's being done. When you see those soldiers standing there in driving rain or in snow and they're told to leave their post and they're like, I will not, because I have so much reverence for the people that this tomb represents. And then you have a political party in the Democrats who don't even show up. Until you show up, shut up.
Proud to be Atlanta's conservative news and talk station, XTRA 106.3 and the XTRA app.
If you notice any cracks in your foundation, they're not going to go away. They need to be addressed as soon as possible to reduce additional costs that come with repair. Ramjack is the best company in the industry for repairing your foundation. We have the highest quality products in the nation. So, if you are experiencing foundation problems, please contact us at ramjack.com/Atlanta or call us at 770-502-8881. That's 770-502-8881.
Millions
of guys suffer from erectile dysfunction. That's 1 in 4 men. And I can tell you, I'm one of them.
If you or someone you know suffer from ED, Peyronie's disease, or PE, here's 38-year emergency room doctor and founder of Total Body Therapy of Georgia, Dr. Eric Deal.
Patients who enter my office are often frustrated, hopeless, depressed, and embarrassed. I understand the problem, and I'm going to help you fix it. There are lots of competitors that don't have the credentials that I have. When you go to other clinics, you're not going to see a board-certified physician with the experience that I have. When you come to our clinic, you're going to see me. There's just not one therapy that can solve these complex issues. I'll do a complete history and physical prior to any treatment that we use. Take it from me, Dr. Deal. When it's not hard, it's really hard.
Call Dr. Deal for your free one-on-one evaluation and resolve your ED, Peyronie's, or PE issues. Total Body Therapy of Georgia, 404-777-1911, 404-777-1911, online at stopmyed.com.
Hi, this is Ben.
And I'm Walt from Horizon Background Screening. About 15 years ago, I was running a private investigations company, and my partner Ben here was running a background screening company and saw the need to put the two together. The background screening helps employers, churches, volunteer organizations, and those sorts of things to help find the right people, get those right people in place, and screen out people that would be a hindrance to their company. On the other end, the investigative work, we can help companies, individuals, insurance companies, law firms gather information, a lot of times around lawsuits and other legal work like that, but also helping people when they're going through a divorce or going through other hard things in life.
25 plus years, we've just been blessed with growth and have basically become a nationwide provider of both pre-employment background checks and private investigative services.
The best way for people to find us is on our website. A quick Google search of Horizon Background Screening, or look at us at horizonscreening.com.
Hurricane Helene, a chemical plant fire, port strikes, Iranian attacks. These recent events remind us how critical it is to be prepared. While panic buying has led to shortages of some products, True Prep still has inventory on hand, with more arriving soon. Don't wait until disaster strikes. Prepare today for a worry-free tomorrow. And if you're unsure where to start, True Prep's knowledgeable staff is here to assist. Visit True Prep in Marietta on Cobb Parkway or online at trueprep.com. That's TRUprep.com.
As an official community partner of the Atlanta Braves and the Atlanta Braves Foundation, the Warrior Alliance connects warriors and their families to free services such as health and wellness, housing, employment, education, legal services, and so much more. We need your financial support to increase our impact and change thousands of lives for those who served in the U.S. Armed Forces. It takes more than just thank you for your service. Make a donation to help warriors navigate to success after service. Go to thewarrioralliance.org/donate and make a difference today.
Look out. Here we go. Our 5 o'clock hour brought to you by our friends at Lee Branch Jewelers, where luxury jewelry and watches are affordable. Drop by their store in Sandy Springs or visit LeeBrant.com. Holy crap, it's 5:19. Time for sports with Pete Davis.
Before we start, I was going through Twitter to see if I could see anything that's just happening or whatever in the playoffs, and someone just posted a video. They were out in the floods, and the waters were going down, but it was still flowing pretty bad in what was usually dry land. Yeah. And he's sitting there, and he hears some bah, and it's a baby sheep floating down the river, and he crawls out into it, and it goes right into his arms, and he picks it up and puts it in his car, and they look around, and they think there's a farm up there that has sheep, so he drives to the farm and lets it out, and the mama's yelling, and it's yelling, and it runs, they run to each other.
They got reunited. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
And,
it was great.
And I'm looking at a story right now. A Florida trooper driving along and sees a dog, as a hurricane's coming in Florida, a dog tied to a pole. The owner's disappeared, and the dog is tied to a pole standing in standing water up to his, almost up to his shoulder. So thank God the trooper, and the dog starts growling at him, tied up to a pole, and the trooper comes up. So thank God the trooper got him into his car and saved him, took him to a vet. He's going to be fine. And Governor DeSantis says, you got to be kidding me. Tying your dog to a pole is bad anyway, but leaving him for the storm?
By the road?
Jeez. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, special place, man, for that stuff. American League playoffs, Tigers lead Cleveland 3-0 right now in the top of the 7th, and Detroit could go up 2-1.
Yeah, the best of 5, yes, sir.
If they win it. And the Phillies and Mets have just started, bottom of the first, no score in Flushing. So we'll see about that. Right now, the Mets are up 2-1. If the Mets win,
it's over.
They move on to the NLCS.
Yeah, and that's going to be a pretty interesting test too. That's all pretty cool. I'm enjoying it. Yeah.
By the way, as we know here in Atlanta, no National League teams who have a bye in the playoffs have won a series in this new postseason format. In fact, the teams with byes in the NL are just 5-16 overall, and the Phillies could be out for the they weren't byes the last 2 years, but they were this year.
Yeah. Wow.
Dodgers down 2-1 to San Diego. LA could use Trevor Bauer right now, just to give the Padres fans back as good as they're giving right now.
Yeah, jeez.
Yeah. By the way, Ken Rosenthal of Fox wrote a column basically just calling out the Padres as being a bunch of little showboating punks.
Really? Cool.
And they were not, which is very rare for him to say something like that.
Yeah.
He called him a prancing joke or something like that. Jurickson Profar, who, by the way, brings a lot of it on himself. I'm just saying. Yeah. Congrats to Falcons quarterback Kirk Cousins, named the NFC Offensive Player of the Week for his performance in the big win over the Buccaneers. Falcons visit Carolina Sunday. It's the 4 p.m. game on Fox, so you can sleep late. Inside linebacker Nate Landman returned to practice on a limited basis. Georgia coach Kirby Smart said today that receiver Colby Young has been suspended indefinitely from the team following his arrest early Tuesday morning on misdemeanor charges of battery and assault on an unborn child. Smart met with Young this morning, saying he's been suspended indefinitely until this legal matter is resolved. We can't really comment any further on specifics of it, but I had a good meeting with him this morning. Oh, thank goodness. We're committed to continuing to educate our players and do the best job we can to making sure they understand the serious nature of these incidents. It's very unfortunate, but we want to be responsible in decision-making on and off the field. This is obviously a really tough situation, end quote. Why do I get the feeling he thinks it's more tough for that player?
Yeah, it's a tough situation. Well, not really. It's a pretty clear situation.
They've had 7 players arrested. Yeah. Okay, you went to college at 2 different schools. I went to college basically at 4 different colleges. I don't remember getting arrested on any of them.
I could have been a couple of times, but I never punched a pregnant woman in the stomach. I know that.
No. I'm just. They've had 7 players, not just. 20,000 students, whatever they have there, 30,000. I don't know at UGA. Yeah. They've got a football team, and 7 of them been arrested this year. Yeah. Some of them for pretty heinous stuff.
Yeah, I think they'd learn.
Whatever it's doing, it ain't working. Yeah. It's basically a couple columnists wrote that it's out of control. I don't know. Well, it probably is. Former Georgia wide receiver George Pickens played a career-low 34 snaps, and the Steelers lost to the Cowboys the other night. George has a reputation now of lollygagging on the field and not giving full effort. Now the NFL is looking into this eye black he was wearing. Seems George wrote a message across his face that read, and I'm going to clean this up, "Always effing open." Not to sound like dragnets here, but Rule 5, Section 4, Article 8 states that players are prohibited from wearing, displaying, or otherwise conveying personal messages, either in writing or illustration, unless such message has been approved in advance by the league office.
You're a cop, a flatfoot, a bull, a dick, John Law. You're the fuzz, the heat, you're poison, you're trouble, you're bad news.
That's right. Joe Friday. I love that. Wait, that was it. Rule 5, Section 4, Article 8. Yeah.
We're working the night shift. My partner's Bill Gannon.
So, listen up, hippie. These drugs are bad news, I'm telling you. Anyway, picked you up on the Sunset Strip. You thought you were flying. Anyway. Back in February, a young Kansas City Chiefs fan and his family filed a defamation lawsuit against Deadspin's former parent company, Geo Media, after the online outlet published an article accusing the 9-year-old boy of racism after the TV showed him wearing a headdress and face paint, which, by the way, showed the other night. It was at the ESPN game. I don't know who was covering the Chiefs-Saints game the other night. I think it was the ESPN. Showed a full-grown man in a headdress doing the chop and going, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah.
That doesn't work in Atlanta. We're all a bunch of racist and a-holes in Atlanta, but in Kansas City, that's perfectly fine, obviously. So 8 months later, the legal battle continues. A judge has rejected Geo Media's argument that the article was opinion and thus not liable for defamation in a now failed attempt to get the suit thrown out. Judge saying Deadspin published an image of a child displaying his passionate fandom as a backdrop for its critique of the NFL's diversity efforts, and in its description of the child, fine line protecting his speech from defamation claims. That comes from Delaware Superior Court Judge Sean Lugg. Having reviewed the complaint, the court concludes that Deadspin statements accusing this kid of wearing blackface and native headdress to hate black people and the Native American at the same time, and that he was taught this hatred by his parents, are provable false assertions of fact and are therefore actionable.
Good for him. And remember, the kid had one side of his face was black and the other was red, if I'm not mistaken, for the colors of the team. Or something. And they showed the black part and said he's a blackface racist, and his parents taught him how to be a. Oh my God! Do they have any money? Are they still even on operation?
Well, I don't usually call for people to be fired, but not only should the Deadspin people go the way of the Gawker, they should never work again.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's just outrageous.
Work the streets, yay-holes. Yeah. Former Redskins cornerback Pat Fisher has died at age 84. Fisher had 27 interceptions in a career. A member of Washington's Over-the-Hill gang, made it to the Super Bowl while playing for George Allen, also played for Vince Lombardi. Pat Fisher was 84. He was a damn good player.
I remember Pat Fisher.
The Hawks opened their preseason at home by nipping Indiana 131-130. A pretty good game. I watched some of it. And the first pick in the draft, rookie Zachary Rizashay, looked great. 18 points. He was dunking the ball, passing the ball. He was hustling. So far, so good. He looked great out there.
And is he gaining weight? Did I read that he's going to put on 20 pounds or something of
hopefully
muscle? I think that's good.
He looked fine last night. Yeah. He looked like he belonged.
Excellent.
It's 1,750 miles from Los Angeles to Milwaukee. Despite flying first class in a jet airplane and not having to take a Conestoga wagon, LeBron James is still complaining, tweeting, "Can someone please explain to me why we're getting on a plane and heading to Milwaukee for one preseason game?" Because it's your job?
God, yeah, maybe you do it for a living. I don't know. Just it's off the top of my head, That's the first one I thought.
Lakers will play. The Lakers are going to play 6 preseason games, none at home because the arena is being renovated. Well, maybe that has something to do with it, too.
Yeah. What an idiot.
We'll play in the streets.
Talk about entitled. Jeez.
The Onion reporting on very sad news for Travis Kelce. I'm so afraid. By the way, Troy Aikman said they were engaged, and Taylor
check with
says,
the missus
no,
or something. Yeah, you could be in trouble.
Yeah. In a stunning turn of events that shocked fans during the Chiefs game against the Saints, sources confirmed 34-year-old tight end Travis Kelce suffered a film career-beginning injury. Folks, that was a big hit that Kelce clearly wasn't prepared for, and he's been down for several minutes. You can already see him consulting with his agent to see whether there's any chance of him walking off this field and directly onto the set of a rom-com, said play-by-play man Joe Buck, describing the catastrophic lower leg injury expected to leave Kelce confined to movie and television roles for the remainder of his life. The medical staff are doing their best to apply makeup for a new round of headshots. We can only hope there's a chance of him coming back as America's everyman. It's an incredibly somber night at Arrowhead Stadium. Both teams took knees to pray that Kelce's first film saw strong box office returns.
They're still talking about Taylor, whether she shows up at the game or not, and whether it's just trouble in paradise. Yeah. Good Lord, I can't read.
The woman looks like a horse. She's got legs up to her neck. Yeah. She looks like a horse. Yeah. Cute face.
Yeah,
but,
I like. Yeah.
Today, October 9th, not very kind to Braves baseball, especially the Atlanta kind. Not only did the Milwaukee Braves lose the World Series in '58 on this day, in 2005, the Braves fell to the Astros 7-6 in Game 4 of the NLDS, a walk-off home run by nobody Chris Burke. The longest postseason game ever. 18 innings, 5 hours and 50 minutes. The first postseason game to feature 2 grand slams. The Astros advanced to the NLCS to face the Cardinals. I watched that whole game at Manual's, and it was depressing there at the end. It was very sad. 2019. This is even worse. Mike Fultonevich allowed 10 runs in the first inning as the Cardinals went on to a 13-1 win over the Braves in Game 5 of the Division Series. I heard about that first inning while waiting to get an MRI at Piedmont Hospital. Okay. The evening did not get any better, as that was the night of the great claustrophobic cockroach while I'm trapped in the MRI tube falling on my face.
Oh, no. That's not a happy thing.
I was a little bit claustrophobic going into that. I will never enter an MRI tube. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. Never again. They have open ones now. You can just sit down in them.
Oh, they do?
Don't ever let them tell you have to go in the tube.
Yeah, my last one was the tube with that clanging and the banging or the whatever. Was that the... Oh.
Well, you didn't have a cockroach the size of your hand.
No, it come into my face.
Looming over your face the whole time either.
No, I didn't know.
And the guy ignoring you as you're pressing the button. Just ignore, because he went outside for a smoke.
Sir.
Yeah. Yeah, other than that, it was a fine night
terrific
at the Opera.
Yeah.
1910, Nap Lajoie collected 8 hits for Cleveland, a season-ending doubleheader against the Browns. Lajoie was battling Ty Cobb for the batting title. May have received some help from the Browns as their third baseman, Red Corndon, played back while Lajoie bunted safely 6 times.
Wow, yeah, that'll do it. 6 times to play back. That's 6 hits right there.
Yeah. Georgia Peach ended up winning 384.9 to 384.0.
Oh, man.
Yeah. In 1934, Detroit's Navin Field, Commissioner Landis makes Joe Medwick lead Game 7 of the World Series for his own safety. The Tiger fans, upset with his aggressive slide into third base, respond by hurling fruit at the outfielder during the Cardinals' 11-0 series-clinching victory. Once again, who brings fruit into a baseball game?
Yeah, unless you're going to do
something.
When
was the last time you saw a guy pull out a banana or a pear?
I can't. Ever.
Now, it just shows to go. What happened in L.A. the other night has been happening throughout history, throwing stuff on the field. It's never good, but they still do it. For what Carol Merrill has behind door number 3, what was Joe Medwick's nickname?
I should know. I think I know this. Darn it. Oh, I think I know this, and I can't remember.
I ask this every year.
I know you. I know you've. I remembered that I don't remember. All right, tell us all.
Joe Ducky Medwick.
Okay.
I'm pretty good.
There you go. I used to be able to do Donald Duck. I can't
know.
anymore.
When you're young, you can do Donald Duck.
I can't even whistle anymore. I can't whistle.
I can whistle better now than I did when I was a kid.
Oh, Lord. 5:32, Pete Davis, Holy Crap at Sports. Kimmer and Flounder coming up along with a whole crew here, and Flounder's Funnies, and music to die for, and a lot of more stuff coming up. Look out, here we go. The legend Neil Bortz is only on Extra 106.3. Hey, it's a camera. How's it going? Here's what you missed from the Talkmaster.
So you think the old Talkmaster's a pretty good guy, huh? No, not the way I've been thinking lately. I am so proud of the Israelis for their recent assaults on these Muslim goons who are dedicated to their eradication. Many years ago, perhaps even before you were born, the Israelis set up a little iPhone repair shop in the Gaza Strip. They waited until some Hamas leader came by to get his iPhone fixed. They fixed it. It worked just fine. Oh, yeah, but it had a little explosive device hidden in it. So after Mr. Hamas hotshot came by to get his phone, when he left, they called him. Hello? Boom. Now they've really upped their game.
Catch Neil's commentary every day on Extra 106.3 or listen anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
Hey, Jimmy, what's going on?
Oh, hey, Bobby. It's kind of embarrassing. I'm having deck problems.
You're having deck problems?
Hey, keep it down. It's embarrassing.
Look, there's plenty of guys in the neighborhood with deck problems. What's the matter with yours?
Well, it's small and old compared to yours.
All right, let's not make this a deck measuring competition. You just need to call Excavations. They've seen decks of all sizes, shapes, and colors. Good news is Excavations can build you a sweet new deck that you'll love to show off to your friends and neighbors. Don't worry, Jimmy. We're going to get you some big deck energy.
Hi, this is Candace with Excavations, and have I got a tip for you. Don't feel ashamed of your deck. Excavations can build an outdoor living space that you'll be proud of. And with our Exavision, we'll be able to show you your home's transformation before you even begin the work. Keep the HOA off your deck and give us a call today for decks, windows, siding, roofing, and more. Or visit us at exovations.com to get inspired.
Are you planning for your big day? Are you picking out the venue, the cake, the menu, the dress, the tux? And you can't forget about those wedding bands. Well, you're in luck because Wedding Band Weekend is back at Solomon Brothers Jewelers. October 25th through the 27th is the best time to save big on those wedding bands that you'll say I do with. During Wedding Band Weekend at Solomon Brothers Jewelers, when you buy her band, you get his for free. And to make your purchase even easier, we're offering 60 months interest-free financing on all of the top wedding band designers in the industry. That's 5 years to not worry about paying for those beautiful rings that symbolize your commitment. And remember, no matter the price, you'll find something nice. So come visit us October 25th through the 27th to shop for your wedding bands in Buckhead on Peachtree Road, Alpharetta Old Milton Parkway, and Sharpsburg on Highway 34 and Fisher Road, or online at SolomonBrothers.com.
XTRA 106.3 listeners are falling in love with Nucky's Hoagies in Roswell.
Me and my wife now find our favorite sandwich place. That food over there was great.
Yeah, those rolls are so soft and sweet. I mean, it was just melt in your mouth. It was, and the steak was tender and juicy and flavorful. I can't say enough about it. It was very, very impressive.
It was so good.
Make Nucky's Hoagies in Roswell on Woodstock Road your new favorite spot for lunch or dinner. Nucky'sHoagies.com.
Get ready for unfiltered conversations on The Janelle King Show, where we tackle the topics that you won't hear at your family gatherings, but they're absolutely crucial for a strong republic. Don't miss us live every Saturday at 3 p.m. and every Sunday at 9 a.m. right here on XTRA 106.3. But if you can't tune in, that's okay. You can catch new episodes every Tuesday on the Podcast Park or wherever you prefer to get your podcasts. Join us for these discussions, and I can't wait to meet you there.
Hurricane Helene, a chemical plant fire, port strikes, Iranian attacks. These recent events remind us how critical it is to be prepared. While panic buying has led to shortages of some products, True Prep still has inventory on hand, with more arriving soon. Don't wait until disaster strikes. Prepare today for a worry-free tomorrow. And if you're unsure where to start, True Prep's knowledgeable staff is here to assist. Visit True Prep in Marietta on Cobb Parkway or online at trueprep.com. That's TRUprep.com.
Hey, how you doing? It's only me. It's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis and Flounder, 537. 404-741-1230. Hold on, Jenny. Be right with you. Got phone calls taking priority. It's The Who.
Get on the bus, it takes me
A magic bus, baby. The Who played a small, low-key show at the University of Surrey, Guildford, with guest John Sebastian joining in on harmonica on Magic Bus. You like that? The only outside musician ever to jam with The Who on stage. Then backstage, the group celebrated John Entwistle's 27th birthday on this day in 1971. 537 to the phones. Jenny, you're on the radio. Welcome aboard. How you doing? What's up?
Hey, Kimmer.
Hi, sweetie.
Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. Real quick. I don't want to waste a lot of your time.
No. You go right ahead. Do what you want.
Okay. Well, first thing, and I didn't tell Flounder this. I forgot.
That's okay.
How you talk about your daughters telling you to get rid of all the junk in your
crap,
condo.
Yeah.
Well, I'm the one that sent you the toaster oven.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Remember? Well, and all I wanted to say is get rid of it if you're not using it. I mean, give it to someone that.
I use my stuff. I use my stuff.
Well, I mean, it's not going to hurt my feelings. Anyway, okay. Secondly, let's see. I put on your Twitter account about a horse farm up in North Carolina that needed help.
Yeah. Good.
I don't know if you saw that.
I haven't, but I know people have. And again, rescuing the animals. Did you hear that story about the state trooper saw the dog tied to a pole?
I can't.
Oh, God.
I can't.
I know.
I can't. Oh, it makes me sick.
I know.
But I put that on your website for your horse farm. I mean, on your Twitter, so your horse farm here might be able to help you.
Thank you.
Third, Shannon Burke. Is he all right?
As far as we know, again, he's in Orlando area, I believe, and so they're going to get it. But it may have been if there's enough time over the land, it may have well, we don't know. Again, I don't know. I don't know.
I didn't know if you'd spoken with him.
We put out calls to him, and again, anything we can do to help him or be in touch with him, we will. But again, obviously, he's got to take care of himself and his stuff first.
Yeah, he's probably in his pool.
But we are checking. We are checking.
Okay, and the last thing. Now, I'm not conspiracy. I mean, I'm not trying to say anything, but people are conspiracies about the hurricane. Blah blah blah, and the cloud seeding, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's going on. This is a hurricane, blah blah blah. But I did do research, and you being a Vietnam vet, thank you.
My honor.
I read a thing where an article where they said that during Vietnam they used cloud seeding as warfare to flood the enemies out. Is that true?
I have no idea, but I wouldn't be a bit surprised if they could do it. They believe me, if they could have done it, they would have done it. I would have rather had the cloud seeding than Agent Orange. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah. But I'm not saying we used it, but Vietnam used it. But it got to the point that the article said that the United Nations had to get involved to stop it.
Wow.
And I thought, hell, it makes you wonder.
Well, believe me, Jenny,
I don't put anything past this.
I don't trust anything. I don't trust anything anymore. I don't know. I don't have the knowledge, and there's no way to get it until the secrets are out. And again, how can you trust with all that's going on now?
I don't.
Yeah.
I know it. I mean, everybody's like, you're a conspiracy. It's like, I don't. Who's to say these people wouldn't? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, but I thought you would know since you were there.
I don't know one way or another for sure, but I've heard those kinds of things. And again, it's whether it's just a theory or not, I think they have the technology. Whether it's been pulled off, I wouldn't be surprised. But again, I don't know. It's a great question. It's a legit question, though. It's absolutely legit. Jenny, thank you so much. Always a pleasure. All right, sweetie. Thank you. Have a great day. 541, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Speaking of conspiracies, my old buddy Bill sent me a text today saying he wasn't trying to start anything, but he won. In fact, let me see if I can find it. I think I took a picture of it. Oh, no, I got it right here. Hey, Kim, what is the possibility that Biden was drugged to make it appear he was experiencing the onset of dementia in order to push Harris to the front? I don't think. Well, I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't think they had to. I don't think they had to drug him because it was,
No. He wouldn't have quit.
No.
He wouldn't have quit if he thought he'd been drugged.
Absolutely. By 542. By the way, quick update who we missed in sports here, Pete. Annika Sorenstam is 54 today. And Mike Singletary, Hall of Famer, college and NFL. Mike Singletary, 66 years old today. And on this day in history, in 2000, Brett Hull of the Dallas Stars scores his goal history number 611, and that passes Brett's father, Bobby Hull, on the all-time scoring list, bringing him to number 9. Just for the record.
The Golden Jet.
404-741-1230. Now, Pete just sent this story from Charlie Kirk. Man, he's got a lot of stuff going on. Do we have sound on this? Do I understand that? Here's the beginning of this story, just broken right now. Carmela's side piece is heard telling an aide who's feeding her questions that it's a live broadcast. She then asks the question that she was presumably given. When you realize what a fraud this woman is, you can't unsee it. And they're wondering if this has anything to do with those special earrings she's been wearing for some of these interviews and stuff. Is there sound on this, Flounder, that proves this? Or Pete, do you know? I mean, is it just coming down the line?
You can barely hear her say.
Yeah, but here it is.
The question she needs to ask, and she's saying, "Shh, it's a live broadcast."
Okay, let's try.
Flood. We really got to watch those areas and those communities. So.
Live broadcast. She just I'm sorry, Flounder, play it again. Here it is.
In those communities, so got to watch those areas and those communities. So
what she does is because it's a video conference, it's like a Zoom conference, so she puts her hand over her mouth right when she says it.
So she's talking to somebody who's talking to her. Where are they talking to her? In what? In those earrings? Has she got a wire hidden somewhere between her macalucas or something? I mean, oh my God! I bet she's got an earpiece, and so they're oh my God! I mean, is this proof? Is this proof that they're feeding her the stuff in her ear while she's trying to be interviewed?
She's a puppet, a marionette.
Well, we all know that, but again, did we just catch her? Holy crap! Somebody was speaking to her while she's being interviewed. They're feeding her stuff.
They're talking with FEMA people. She's not being interviewed. She was supposedly heading a conference there, a Zoom conference, and they're feeding her questions.
Oh, my God. So they're trying to make her look like she knows what she's doing. It's a FEMA conference? That was what this was? Yeah. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
What the hell's she got to do with FEMA anyway? She's not in charge. She's not president.
She's not in the loop. That's not her bailiwick in any way. But again, obviously, because of all the criticism of what's been happening, all of a sudden now, again, they're like that. All of a sudden, she's yelling and screaming that she wants more things to be done. Again, they had President Washer daughter just made an address earlier saying we need to get out of there if you're in the Milton territory of the hurricane. And she also made a statement saying that we need to make sure people are safe and sound. Oh, my God. You're running for political office. And I think now all of a sudden she's running a FEMA meeting. That first time ever. Oh, my God. Feeding her questions.
We have another addition to the songs you want to hear while you're passing away.
Oh, okay. We're going to do another one in a second, too. Yes, sir.
Fantasy Maestro says, Led Zeppelin's In My Time of Dying.
Well, I don't know. I've never heard of this song. Well, I wouldn't
That's
listen
another
to
long
Led
song,
Zeppelin anyway. In My Time of Dying, is that what that said? Anyway, we actually have a list. There was a group that does charity work for people who are dying, terminally ill charity group, and they have a survey of the top 10 songs that people who are dying want to hear when they're ready to die. Deathbed type songs. We played earlier. Number 10 was These Are the Days of Our Lives by Queen. Number 9, Hey Jude. Beautiful by Christina Aguilera was number 8.
And should we do number 7?
Yeah, let's do number 7. You got one there? This is, number 7 you'll recognize immediately, I bet you. And it is a beautiful song.
I see trees of green.
Louis Armstrong.
Red roses too.
What a wonderful world.
I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
What a wonderful world, Louis Armstrong. 546, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. More music coming up for you, but actual newsy stuff too, and we got more things to talk about here. 106.
Clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
The left-wing media is pushing counterfeit polls and bogus headlines, all while ignoring the stories that matter most. Trust the conservative voice of Atlanta for the real truth without the media spin. The Morning Extra, Glenn Beck, Clay Travis, Buck Sexton, The Kimmer Show, Jesse Kelly, and the voices you need most are all on XTRA 106.3 and the XTRA app.
It's going to be an interesting couple of months right here on XTRA 106.3.
Doug Moore is a health insurance broker at yourchoicehealthplan.net. He believes your health insurance premiums should not look like a mortgage payment. You don't have to overpay for health insurance. He sells private insurance with no deductibles and no rate increases. These plans are typically 30 to 60% less than what you're paying and don't need to change doctors. He customizes all plans to meet your budget. Don't fret. Go to yourchoicehealthplan.net. He can save you big money. Call Doug Moore at 770-697-0100. That's 770-697-0100. Don't fret. Go to yourchoicehealthplan.net. If your payment is too high, you're on COBRA, or your work coverage is too expensive, call Doug, 770-697-0100. You don't have to have government marketplace insurance that's crazy expensive. Don't fret. Go to yourchoicehealthplan.net and request a quote. Call 770-697-0100 and let Doug design a plan for you, not by big government.
Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watch Company, where quality and value make the difference. Locally owned and located in Sandy Springs, offering you the finest selection of unique diamonds, sapphires, rubies, and emerald jewelry, as well as other fine gemstones. Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watches has been servicing Rolex watches for over 30 years, and their Rolex-trained watchmaker will service your watch in their state-of-the-art Rolex service center in their store. Lee Brandt uses only genuine Rolex parts, and their estimates are free. Drop by Lee Brandt in the Trader Joe's Shopping Center in Sandy Springs or visit LeeBrandt.com.
My fellow Americans, our yards are in troubled times. Unwanted weeds are crossing fence lines across our great nation, and we need to put a stop to it. No more college football Saturdays spent mowing the lawn. No, sir. Let's turf it with ultra-premium artificial grass from ATL Turf Co. They're Atlanta and North Georgia's first choice for premium turf solutions, from incredible lawns to custom putting greens. Let's make your yard great again with a free consultation at atlturfco.com. Join A Second Chance Bail Bond CEO Daniel Madelon and host Tug Coward for the weekly radio show Back Your Blue. They will highlight special initiatives, criminal justice programs, and community events aimed at keeping our communities safer. Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. to learn some good news about and from the law enforcement and justice communities. This week's guest is Cobb County Sheriff Craig Owens. Tune in on Saturdays or catch up on all past episodes wherever you get your podcasts or at thepodcastpark.com.
No one plans on going to jail, but when it happens, it's important that you know who to call. Call A Second Chance Bail Bonds, where we believe everyone deserves a second chance. Whether your loved one's been arrested in Cherokee, Clayton, or any of the other metro Atlanta counties in between, A Second Chance Bail Bonds works fast to help expedite release within hours. A Second Chance. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call A Second Chance 24/7 at 404-BAIL-OUT or online at atlbail.com.
I know it doesn't feel like it right now, but the cold air is coming fast. That means a couple different things to me and you. Energy bills will be rising and company coming over for the holidays. Dan Watkins here with all Four Seasons garage, entry doors, and windows. It's time to get your house ready for the winter air and your holiday visitors. The good news is that we have you covered for every opening in your home. So call us today to set up a free estimate with one of our amazing sales consultants. They'll help you pick out the perfect garage door, front door, and windows for your home.
There we go. Oh, yeah. That's the Beach Boys. Dance, dance, dance. Beach Boys recorded this song in 1964 on this day with Glenn Campbell playing lead guitar. It would go on to become the 12th top 40 Beach Boys hit. Glenn Campbell, again, was a session musician. And they realized when he was doing like chorus things, the guy can sing, and they made him a star. And but he was a guitar picker more than anything else. Just like Roy Clark was known for his picking. Let's see, birthday list includes Sharon Osbourne, 72 today. Jackson Brown, Running on Empty, Doctor My Eyes, Somebody's Baby. I love that, Somebody's Baby, and also The Loadout. That Pete Davis found that for me once for a birthday many years ago. Jackson Brown is 76 years old today, and he still says he's innocent. 2012 this day, though, former assistant football coach at Penn State, Jerry Sandusky, convicted of 45 counts of being a scumbag, sentenced up to 60 years for molesting, which he denied even though they caught him humping young boys in the shower. Which is fairly disgusting. Anyway, 552 already. 404-741-1235. Yes, sir? Have a little something there?
Got the latest on Milton, 120 miles per hour.
Okay.
It's still growing, but the winds are dying down a bit. And it looks, according to the map here, Savannah and all the way into South Carolina is under tropical storm.
Oh, boy. Again, it must be going a little bit further north than predicted. Again, it looks like Neil Bortz and the gang in Naples are going to be okay. They probably winds of 50, 60 miles an hour. And it's going toward Orlando. Again, we don't know about Shannon Burke, how he's doing. We have a call in to make sure if we can do anything or if he wants to talk to us if he has time or whatever. They may have been evacuated for all I know. Maybe the station's on.
Yeah, they won't have power either, probably.
That's the thing. 5:53. Holy cow, almost out of time. Just for fun, we mentioned those songs to die by. This group did a survey and found out the top 10 songs people use when they're dying, want to have on their deathbed. What a Wonderful World, Louis Armstrong, we just played. Number 6 is Angels by Robbie Williams. Play.
I'm loving angels instead.
This song sucks.
Yeah, it's not a good song.
No, I don't know why they put it on here.
Really? I can't even.
My plane walks down.
I'd rather do number 5.
Robbie Williams.
Show them what number 5 is, Flounder. The song to die by on your deathbed. Whitney Houston, this makes sense. I will always. Oh, that's Tina Turner, number 3. It's a great song. That woman could sing, man. And I like the other one. What was the other one? Don't disrespect me or something. You gotta love me or what?
Yeah, that was it.
What was that one she sang that stop treating me like crap or whatever that was? You gotta. What the hell was that one? You know what I'm talking about. What was the one that had a great fast beat to it? It says, "You gotta stop me leaving alone." You gotta say, "Tell me you love me," or what the hell was that name? Song?
Better be good to me.
Better be good to me. Better be good to me. There you go. And Flounder, let's. According to the survey, is
much more than this. I did it my way. Yes, there were times.
Yeah, baby.
I'm sure you knew.
Sing it, Frankie.
When I bit off
Old Dead Eyes.
more than I could chew. But through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up and spit it out. I faced it all, and I stood tall and did it my way. I've loved.
5:56. Frank Sinatra, the number one favorite death song, according to somebody, I think there. By the way, speaking of that, Pete Rose, a story that came out today I thought was pretty interesting. Pete Rose, the legend, was taken to a hospital by a friend of his a few days before he died a couple of days ago. Pete Rose apparently was suffering, and his friend said, "You don't look right. You're acting different." Took him to the doctor. The doctor said he's okay. He didn't show anything wrong physically. But his friend knew something was bad. Pete had been at the autograph show in Tennessee a few days before he died in a wheelchair. He was there with his friends Dave Concepcion, George Foster, Tony Perez, Ken Griffey Sr. And Perez said, "We knew he wasn't his normal self. He wasn't acting like himself. He was real quiet. He wasn't a talker. He didn't seem to look too good. It was really hard when it happens. We were sitting there and trying to have a good time, but then it wasn't a good time because Pete was in a wheelchair, just wasn't feeling, he didn't look good, wasn't feeling good. You can see he's pale. Wasn't himself at all. The last time I saw him, he wasn't a talker. We used to kid each other about getting you're old, you're ugly, man, stuff like that. And he said it just wasn't the same, the way he looks and was reacting that day. And a few days later, he was dead. And I'm wondering. I'll bet he knew. I mean, I think my dad knew. My mother did not. My mother dropped of having. I just had a stroke thing, and she was dropped. She had those little teen mini strokes, they called them, for a few months before that. But then she just collapsed and went. But my dad knew he was going to die, and talked to the doctor about it. In fact, and I got that flabbergasted me. Anyway.
Well, Chuck has a couple more songs. He goes, "This is the End" by the Doors.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That's a horrible song.
My friend.
Yeah, this is the end. The freaking dirge, man.
Or, if you're a Democrat politician, then Highway to Hell.
Oh, God. Speaking of hell and highways, with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, how about one more Flounder's funny for Nucky's
I don't know a lot about food, all right? First time I had raspberry, 40 years old. 40 years old, first time I had raspberry. I said it at the party. I was like, "What is this?" And they go, "The bowl?" That's how much they figured. Well, clearly he knows what raspberry is. It makes more sense for him not to know what a bowl is. I didn't see raspberries growing up. You know, I don't come from money, all right? I still swim with my eyes open. I love processed food, you know? I love it. I'm a farm factory table guy. And
farm factory. That's Bergazzi, or is that
Nate Bargatze.
Nate Bargatze. And by the way, if you just joined us, Jenna Fisher, the girl who played Pam from The Office, has announced that she's doing fine. She had breast cancer, and she said that she was kind of tricked into getting a mammogram. She was kind of joking about it, and she got one and said, "Oh my God," and found out that she had breast cancer, and they did surgery and radiation, and she lost her hair, came back, she's doing fine. And Pam from The Office says, "Get your boobies checked, your time bombs." She quit it. Anyway, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, boys, see you tomorrow for Thursday time. I gotta go, you're killing me. Sing me home, Christine, baby girl. Hoorah, look out, herp and herp.
The Morning Extra from 6 to 10 a.m. and The Kimmer Show from 3 to 6 p.m. Only on WFOM and W292EV Marietta. Extra 106.3 FM.